The excitement is killing us.
When you want to get off the darkest ground,
Ass hats. Ass hats.
Ass hats.
pulls you straight down.
Be polite, that's Mr. Ass Hats.
Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too.
You little pug!
When you want to get off the darkest ground, gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, gravity pulls you straight down.
Alrighty, hello everybody, we are back. We are here for another movie night on a wonderful Friday night. Hello, panel.
Hello. Oh, jeez,
No.
I forgot we have a drink counter now. I got.
We do,
to
yes.
get prepared. I'll be right back.
Hey, let me get ready. Let me get ready. There, I'm ready.
Yep, we do have our drink counter, so that's awesome. I did make sure it was working. See, we're at 5 drinks already. So we are back for yet another fun movie night. We do have quite a bit of stupid on the wheel for tonight, so that's pretty exciting. So
Yay.
let's get into our intros. Let's start out with Mom NATO.
Oh my god, I'm first this time. Hello! How's everybody doing?
I promise you'll be first every time after this, and then maybe the rest of us.
Okay.
True. Hello, Mom NATO. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing quite well if I don't choke on my soda.
Remember, nose for drinking, ears for breathing. Do not confuse the two.
Indeed.
No, I want to become a soda maid. Thank you.
Well, we're glad to have you here with us again, Mom NATO. So thank you for coming.
Uncle for inviting me.
From there, we'll go over to Auntie Jen from Jen's Little Corner.
Hi everyone, how are we all?
Hello. How
Hello,
are you doing
Jen.
tonight? Hello.
The light
Yeah,
looks
that's
really
better.
good on you, by the way.
If people don't know me by now, they'll never know me.
That's true.
How's your day going?
It's what, about noontime your time over there?
Just about.
It's pretty much midday here, so I am not actually drinking because I did that last night. So.
Gotcha. I have my soda, so that's about as close as I'm getting to drinking.
I've got water.
Mhm.
Mom and I are teetotalers, basically.
Hey,
Mom's
speak
not.
for yourself.
I am.
Speak for yourself.
From
I
there,
love a good glass of wine every once in a while.
From there, we'll go over to Hillel.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, you know, as well as one can be.
Awesome. Anything fun going
Always
on
good
in your
to
neck
hear
of the
from you,
woods?
Hill.
Well, I made a grave mistake a moment ago because I have two identical glasses next to me. One has wine and one has water, and I think you can figure out the rest from there.
Yeah. I mean, have you turned one into the other yet?
Not yet.
I'm sure he's turned both into urine at some point, though.
That's true.
Eventually.
That's the best magic trick of them
It's a
all.
work in progress.
And from there, we'll go over to Tornado.
Hey everyone, I'm currently playing a game called Danger Zone at the moment, so in case you hear any off-the-wall comments, that's why.
Awesome. Well, good to have you here for another week with us. And we'll go over to Bo. Hello, Bo.
Hello. How's it going, everybody?
It's going.
Yeah, finally got some time in between, fighting the thing around here. So,
Bo, my brother did a DNA test recently and found out that we are 27% Scandinavian.
well, many Americans are from Scandinavia,
But we're
or at
also,
least the northern countries.
yeah, but we're 21% or 27% Scandinavian and 41% English. I found that interesting.
Very
Well-
interesting.
Momnado, does that mean that you may or may not have a little Norwegian in you? Because if you don't, I'll offer.
There's a joke waiting for that.
Oh, boy.
Well, we also have Iberian and Baltic.
Anyway, moving on. Thanks, Bo. From there, we'll go over to Furball.
Hi, I'm Furball. I'm the guy that makes, inappropriate sexual jokes towards Momnado to make Tornado Pelt inappropriate and feel ashamed of himself.
Fuck you.
He should feel inappropriate. He punches the cobra.
I didn't say it.
Yeah, now apparently that's become a minor internet meme.
It is.
Hey.
Yes.
What's this minor business?
Hey,
We're not trying hard enough.
Don't ask
we
the
did
ladybird.
it with Kick. God, why?
Uh-oh.
We just saw a tweet.
Have you been drinking too much already, Chris?
We haven't even
I guess I had one sip.
we haven't even started the
How big
videos
was
yet.
the sip?
Yeah.
Oh God, Kick killed? Was
Well,
that it?
But that's me. Thank you.
From there, we'll just wander over to Chris Kelling for his intro.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hijack that, but
No, that's all good.
anyway, well, tonight's libation is Sammy Adams Summer Ale. This is a wishful thinking on my part because we are still experiencing 35-degree weather here in Connecticut.
Ooh.
Oof.
I should
So,
mention
you know,
my
it's
open doors and windows then.
Yeah.
Hey, you can waste your heat all you want.
Don't let the
And we're
crocodile
enjoying
out.
19 degrees here. It's just lovely.
Yeah.
Centigrade.
I mean, Florida,
Yeah, actual.
anything below 70 degrees in Florida, it's freezing. So,
Amen to that.
But anyhow, do a little shameless plug here. Working on some new videos. I'm the one that I wanted to get out tonight, but I didn't even get started on. So and still trying to figure out how I'm going to edit it together. Is a glossary for flirters, and what it's going to do is you take the terms that they commonly use and misuse and don't understand. I'll give both the correct definition and usage and their incorrect definition and usage. And I'm almost kind of wanting to do it like a Jeff Foxworthy type of thing, but I don't think I will. And then some other things that I'm working on is the legal trials of Nathan, and a couple song parodies that have popped in my head too. So
Wait, what happened?
with that, let's bring on Stupid.
Just the same old stuff with Nathan, with his, arrest and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that Nathan.
Yes. Nathan Thompson. All right.
Mister, I can harass kids all I want and not get in trouble.
Yeah. From there, we'll go over to RJ for his introduction. Hello, RJ. It's nice to have you here.
Hello,
with us.
I'll put my camera on to show I'm not a simulation.
Still not sure. It could be really, really good
Hey,
CGI.
Yeah, and I've been busy here doing my shtick on my work and doing the Evolution Hour and prepping material to resume Volume 2 of The Rocks Were There. And part of my brain is in the 1870s in the second Paralogs novel. And so, I'm doing stuff.
Huh. Well, very good. I'm glad to hear it.
Are you
Sounds
also
like you're
doing
keeping
things?
busy.
You're doing stuff and things.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes it's the things first and then the stuff. And then I have to wait sometimes for the stuff to dry out because the dryer died. So then I have to wait and do that ahead before I can get back to the things.
Oh,
So,
my
there's
goodness.
a bunch of things. Oh, and I
you have
mowed
to
the
stuff
lawn
and
today.
things.
It was in the mid-season, so I mowed the front lawn today and got out and revved up a little battery thing, and it worked just fine. And so happy.
Very good.
Worship the dandelions.
Awesome. Well, glad to have you here with us again, RJ. Alrighty. And last but not least, we have Sean Hufford with us.
Hey, guess what? I'm still me.
Hello, me.
All right.
Is it moist?
Ugh.
Yes, it tends to
Okay,
be very, very, very moist around
Okay,
here.
want to make sure of that. We don't want you to
Gross.
desiccate, old guy.
I just need to point out that the carpets do not match the drapes.
Yeah, he's
Gosh,
a
from
bit-
all
know
the,
how
don't
you
tell
know
them
that?
about me.
he's a bit gray on that carpet there, isn't he?
Yeah. Wait, we don't have any carpets.
Ow.
That was the parrot, right? Not the microwave.
It was the bird. Yes, they do need to be fed.
Yeah, we
All
got
right.
hungry birds tonight.
Yes.
Hmm.
All right. So now that we've gotten through our introductions, I do want
What's
to
our
make.
stupid?
We will get to our stupid in just a moment, but first I do want to get to one other plug I have, and that's for our very own panel member, Jenny Morgan. She needs a little bit of a help. Recently, her Social Security retirement was cut by over $300
Oh,
with
my
all
goodness.
this COVID
Oh,
stuff.
Yipes.
Being, on a fixed
Wow.
income, that's a lot of money. Her car died recently. She also has all her heart issues and requires medications. They're covered by Medicare, but she does have to get to the pharmacy to get them. She
Yeah.
lives pretty far away from everything. Unfortunately, everything is at least a 30-minute drive for her, so she has to have a car.
Yes, needs an
Car
alternator,
died
right.
from her a bad alternator, and she's looking to replace it. It's going to cost about a total of about $460 for parts and labor, whole thing, which isn't really that bad. I mean, out here in New Jersey, that's nothing. So anyway,
She is driving a vintage BMW, isn't she?
she is, yes.
Yeah. It's hard to
Um,
get spare parts, I guess.
Yeah. So she has had a fundraiser out for a little bit. Been sharing around her PayPal link, and she's about halfway to that goal already.
Yeah,
But
I
I
just
do-
posted it in the chat. the
Awesome.
PayPal
Yeah.
link.
Yep. I just
I
copied it.
misposted it and left the J off Jenny, but it's there.
Awesome. Yeah. So, like I said, she's already about halfway to that goal. But if anybody does have anything extra, any spare change that they'd like to throw her way, that would be hugely, immensely helpful. And then anything that comes in beyond that goal, she's just going to put toward that new tablet she's been trying to get so she can continue doing movie night and the other streams that she's on, because unfortunately she has no computer. So that's kind of all that she has. So, if anybody does feel free to donate, or feel willing to do so, that would be great. And that's kind of where we're at with that. And I will just share her PayPal link again there. So I really appreciate everybody's help. Jen has been on our panel for long before I showed up, obviously, and long before Strike died. She's a great person, and we love having her here. And I think she's one of the most deserving people.
Jenny was one of the people that was in the side chat forever, and she was there every week.
Mm-hmm.
Jen
know,
deserves some breaks.
Yes,
never there. She
absolutely.
was there every
And the
week.
starter.
And then she came on the show, and she was the levity, and she was so humble coming on.
Yes.
Like, I mean, you could feel the vibe coming from her that she didn't feel like she deserved to be here, when she absolutely did. So
She's still like that, Fable.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
She is still one of the most humble people I have ever met.
Absolutely.
And
funny as hell.
she probably knows more than most of us on this panel combined. But
That's very true.
she is just very humble.
Yes. So I do appreciate any spare change anybody can throw it at Jen. That would be amazing. We do definitely appreciate that. And
Just not too hard. She's delicate.
yes, don't throw it too hard at her. Only the
if you're gonna
bills.
throw,
like
if
it
you're gonna
moist,
throw money
of
at her, make sure it's paper kind,
Yes.
not coin.
Yeah, she's old.
Alright.
I'll throw the link in again.
Awesome. Alright, so we do have quite a bit of whatever you call
Stupidity?
that. Stupid on the wheel for tonight.
Mm.
So let's see what we have. I do have there's 7 things on the wheel for tonight.
Good golly, Miss Molly.
I know.
The wheel should be awfully generous.
You'll have to be a bit louder when you do your little rhyme there, Tornado, because it's going to take so much more energy to get this one moving because it's so much heavier.
Yeah.
What are the selections?
Well, so today on our wheel we have, where the hell is Streamlabs? There it is. Hello, Streamlabs. Alright. So tonight we have spirits, we have penguins, we have pressure, we have flurf mechanics, we have lunar black swan, we have rocket, and we have Bermuda. I know, that
Black
sounds
Swan.
super exciting.
So we've got at least 5 flat Earth videos on this list.
Oh god.
Well, hey, just to elaborate, spirits, does that have to do with alcohol?
Or ghosts?
Not that kind of
That
spirit.
will do for
Well, she
us.
may have been, or whomever may have been partaking in spirits.
When they created the video,
And
probably.
Clean
Well, so
spirits.
our videos tonight are we still have our Jeranism video on there, which is a globe with gas pressure
Hey.
next to a vacuum, pseudoscience 101. We have the Antarctic penguin hoax. We have the flat Earth mechanics, planes, trains, and boats.
Okay, I know.
From our favorite polka dot lady, we have how to connect with the spirit world.
Oh God.
Oh my god.
We have the lunar black swan destroys NASA.
Of course
Lunar
it does.
Black
Yeah.
Swan.
Yes.
Okay.
We
Give
have
me a
the-
guess who that one is, by the way.
Claudia Albert.
No, we actually don't have. We have no.
Oh.
I didn't want to kill the panel tonight, so I did not put any Claudia Albers on the wheel.
You mean Claudia?
I wanted you guys to come back again.
Yeah, I of course have got to have a special place in my heart for anything involving the penguins.
Yes, I mean everybody, I'm sure at this point knows my obsession with penguins. So that one was.
Couldn't have had another yoga slot on the wheel.
We did not have another
I'm-
yoga slot.
No, furball. You don't get to
Not
see
you.
them make all sorts of bendy, squishy butt moves.
Yeah. What about
the-
yoga
What?
pants?
Squishy butt moves? Okay, what have I been missing the last few weeks?
Oh God,
I'm
so
telling you, you gotta go back. I'm not
Alphabetical
telling
or
you. You
itemized?
gotta go back and watch.
Yeah.
One is stopping you from untanning your taint.
Bo, I'll send you a link.
You have
You know what I
been
mean.
seeing us driving tornado mad with the punching the cobra comments.
Well, hey,
No
at least
actual
Tornado got rid
cobras
of
have been
the
damaged in this show.
Yes.
yeah,
No
the
actual
bacon
cobra.
wrap something.
Anyway, so the other two on our wheel is we have rocket hitting the flat Earth dome. Yep, and then we have the truth, and the truth is in capital letters about the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh god, are we gonna have
They're
more glass
saying it wrong.
pyramids
They're
in
saying
the
it wrong.
ocean again?
We all know if it's capitalized, it's true.
It must be true, yes.
You're saying it wrong. You're saying it wrong still. You forgot to put emphasis on it. You gotta say the truth.
Ah.
With
The truth with a TROOF, is that?
no F.
Yes,
F.
yes.
So we have 7 chances, all of
Like
them
Earth.
unlucky tonight.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, let's go. Let's get it
Wheel of
over with.
misfortune. Turn. Show us the stupid that we should burn. Spin it.
I'm on the moon one.
Penguins.
It
Come on,
is the
penguins.
Bermuda Triangle.
Oh.
Ooh.
That woof.
Yes.
At least that's something that exists.
This
Well,
is true.
Bermuda exists,
Okay.
yeah.
It's gonna be.
And you can certainly draw a triangle there.
Or that's what they
Exactly.
want you to think.
But what
wonder-
I want to know is if the Bermuda Triangle has sides of 1, 1, and 1. What are the internal angles?
You beat me to that.
We should.
Is there a
call
calculator for
Riley.
that?
Actually, because of inflation, it's now the Bermuda Quadrangle.
Actually, no, technically, because the Earth's a globe, the angles wouldn't necessarily all be 60.
Oh my goodness.
Stop
I just wonder if
using
it's
your
all
damn
made of
science.
glass, like last time we
How long-
discussed the triangles.
I
How
thought they
long
moved
is
that
this
up
Bermuda
north,
Triangle
too.
thing?
Anything longer than a minute is too long, but
That's true.
I had a request from the chat to add the live chat to the stream, although I don't think they can read it. If I do, we're gonna try it.
If you can put a link up in our chat to the live
I
chat,
did.
that would be nice.
I did RJ. I don't know if maybe you can't see it. I can put it.
Yeah,
down.
I don't think the
Way too blurry.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be too small. I'll have to redo the whole set in order to do it.
Oh, I see the pop out. There we
Yeah.
Awesome.
I see it.
God,
But I
I'm a
think
Here we
it's
saint.
go.
too small, so I'm going to leave.
That's what
We
she
like
said.
to see what
Oh
see
my
see how
goodness.
many clam jokes are coming in on the
Oh
line.
God, don't remind them. See, there weren't any before, and
Oh,
now
no,
there's going to be
there
a big
were.
spike.
All right.
Yeah.
People were making
Come
jokes
on.
about bleach.
So let me
On
get
the-
our
That's
on
movie
literally
Twitter.
queued up.
tradition here, man. Come on.
Give me 1 second to get our movie queued up here.
No, take all the time you need.
Just for clarity, it can be seen pretty easily in the actual live video.
Oh, really?
That's because
Yeah.
you've got a huge monitor.
Well,
Also, it always pays.
I'm going to correct you on
use
one thing
two
here.
It's a
monitors.
TV.
I have
Sorry.
2 huge monitors.
Yeah,
Well, I
zip it
couldn't
over
see the
there.
other one.
Yeah. Always use 2 monitors. If you have a
Not to-
laptop, that's easy.
Yeah.
Not to contradict the
world
voice,
opens
but
up
it
when you
did
get your
seem kind of
second wall
small
screen.
on my monitor, but I've been told that I have size issues.
Okay, Napoleon.
Hey, it's not the size; it's the sound it makes when it. Yeah, never mind.
It's the pixel count that matters.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
PPI.
Maybe we should just move on.
It's
It's the best thing I've
PPI
heard all
and
night.
the nits. It's PPI and nits that matters the most.
Hey, don't
Yes.
talk about PPI unless you're talking about R. Kelly.
Oh my goodness.
What?
And nits can mean so many different things.
Yeah, it's the abbreviation, of letters, not the word. The light output of a monitor.
Well, talking about PPI, do you know the difference between a chickpea and a garbanzo bean?
No.
Does it have anything to do with resolution? As in point
President
pixels
Trump,
per
yeah,
inch?
President Trump was never paid to have a garbanzo bean on his face.
Oh.
Politics.
Oh.
Blank.
Oh my God.
Oh, America, you beautiful, beautiful creature.
Only if we get rid of Trump.
That's your boss that you're talking about, right?
Hey, First Amendment.
Yeah.
Wall didn't
so?
say anything bad.
Okay, we're
No,
getting
no, no,
clam
no.
stuff here.
I
Already
see
with the
that.
clams.
Military
Oh my
can't.
goodness.
Clams
You guys
over
should-
the
you guys
river
should all,
fly.
actually, speaking of which, you guys should all
Put the
follow their
bad in the
example and
clammy.
clam up so we can start the stupid.
Hey, didn't you try to get us to not to
Well,
delay that stupid?
Yes. I'm still delaying. I'm just getting everything set up here. Give me 1
Oh
second.
damn it!
Oh, in that
Delay,
case, never
delay.
mind. Unclam on. Unclam away.
Clam on.
Clam
clap.
on.
clap.
Indiana
It's not a clap, it's more like
Jones,
a-
Temple of Clams.
It's not like clap. It's more like a.
Yeah.
And congratulations, we just pissed off every Canadian in the history of the whole planet.
Canadians can't get pissed off.
That's true.
It's against
Why
their constitution,
don't you
yeah.
Brandon
Hey.
says, "You people are my kind of people."
yes,
there's
we're
medications
hysterical.
you can take for that, though.
Yes,
That's
really.
peopleist.
It's called schizophrenia.
Mmm.
Ooh, in joke, the clams were there from TD Lane.
The clams were there.
Flamageddon
Oh
from
my
Edison
goodness.
Carter.
All right, look what we got. Woohoo, stuff and things.
Oh, is that?
Oh my.
A watercolor?
Okay.
Oh, God.
That's the intro.
Or
to
a
our
Russian,
What Disney movie did they
video.
Goes
show?
into the
Animation.
forest and finds a flat earth.
Is this a Disney movie or an anime porn?
It looks like Cinderella. I think.
Well,
Yes.
it could be both. It could be breaking a whole new
Or
field
neither.
here.
White Riding Hood?
Disney's about to break into a whole new niche.
An
Oh my
anime
goodness.
porn would actually be much more entertaining than this crap.
Are you
I mean, it's
we'd
not
show
like
that
Disney
me.
is losing money or anything, right?
The Clampire
Fire strikes back. Yeah.
All right, well,
Oh,
What would a
shall we
clam
begin?
Hold
Return of the Clams.
Yes, let's find out what we have here.
Yes, we shall. Here we go, guys.
Curiosity is
Uh,
peaked.
Let me at least preface this with at least our truth about the Bermuda Triangle is not difficult to look at.
At least so far.
Close in the forest you find a
Whoops.
Oh my God, this is
Oompa Loompa.
Snow White, the Seven
Thank you.
Dwarfs.
I like the Oompa Loompa thing, yeah.
Haley.
Hi, my angels. It's Haley. I am
Whoa.
over the moon.
Did he
and
put that?
excited
Did she
about
put that
this
on with a
video
spatula?
Because rather than paranormal, I'm switching it up a little bit and going more conspiracy. We're going to be talking about the Bermuda Triangle. I've wanted to talk about this for the longest time. The Bermuda Triangle in itself has fascinated me for so long, and I think, well, I know it's mostly because I love
She caught
investigating
herself.
or reading up on things that like are a complete mystery, and this most definitely covers that in more ways than I could
Drink.
even imagine.
Yes.
I feel like it's something which covers a lot of this, but like if it's a mystery, calling it therefore saying it's a mystery, we don't really know what it is. Therefore, it's a conspiracy of some variety. Just is something that's just gonna. I feel like it's
that's
gonna
no
perpetuate.
mystery
it's gonna,
anymore.
Yeah, again, if it's a conspiracy, then it's not a mystery because you know what it is. So I feel like this sort of thing of like it's going to be a lot of this whole video is going to be a lot of we don't know this thing, or this thing is unknown, mysterious. There's some unresolved issue, if there even is one. Therefore, some kind of conspiracy, which is
Well,
just.
yeah.
I mean, so just to throw it out there that I suppose like this is the drink call that then takes care of all of those other ones.
Okay. I will be measuring it on the Jaron index, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
And I had to add to our drink call. I almost forgot our drink counter. I mean, can't forget that. All right.
Can't forget that. We want to document everybody's inebriation.
Exactly. I'm glad you
I
get it. RJ.
started 4 hours ago, though, so could you add like 30 to that?
Oh my goodness. 30 an hour?
Pre-gaming
Amateur.
Early starters don't get prompts.
All right. Well, here we go. We're going to continue on.
So definitely make sure that you guys let me know in the comments below what you guys think is going on with the Bermuda Triangle. Hear out all of the different potential theories, and let's talk about it because we're about to talk about some pretty crazy stuff.
She needs
And
to redo
I'd
her
love to
roots.
hear from you guys what you think of
She
it
needs
all.
to redo
Before we
her
get into
roots.
the video, though, regarding a
terrible.
few comments that I've been receiving as far as Reesmas goes this year, I definitely do want to hear all of your guys' unbelievable experiences or stories. If you're somebody
I'm
who
sure
has
they'll be
abilities
unbelievable.
or
Unbelievable is
conditions,
right.
you live in
Pause
yeah.
real quick.
Yes, Chris?
This isn't a drink
an
call.
O
I just
face.
wanted to know, is she doing this off of Twitch or off of YouTube, or do we know, or do
This
we
was
care?
on YouTube. She has
Yeah,
a
no, she got a
YouTube
silver
channel.
play button in the background there.
Just to ask, are we playing the O-Face game again?
Oh God.
I was
We
gonna
are,
say
That's a
yes.
perfect one right there.
Really?
Yeah, we
I
definitely
think
took a
we played this
screenshot of
one.
that.
That's her.
That's all I
O-face.
wanted
She
to know,
looks like
thanks.
she's ready to cry.
I'm sorry, there's too much teeth there for my
I think
preference.
that's an umlaut face.
This is true.
I'm digging the string lights though.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of YouTubers have those, and I feel like they're just so
Well, do you see
Shiny.
I feel like
In the
I'm in the
background,
inside of
too.
a lining of a pimp's coat.
got a lava lamp behind me that I didn't turn on today. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, but she's also
Usually
got
the
a
ones with the string lights behind them are the ones who do makeup tutorials and stuff like that. They're not usually the
also
ones
got-
who are trying to...
It's really satisfying my inner crow brain of like, ooh, flashy.
Oh,
she's also got that pretty
I
little
had to turn on
candle.
moonlighting here.
Oh, thanks,
my
Sean.
goodness. Did you really? What did you do?
There's a red UFO behind you, Sean.
Oh
Yeah,
my
really.
goodness. You
Belu's
did
giving
change
him
the light color,
instructions.
didn't you?
Okay, let's get to some science.
Be abducted by
yeah.
Belu.
Good
There you go.
luck with
Lava
that,
lamps
RJ.
on.
Here then.
All right, here we go, guys.
In a haunted house, you speak to the dead, maybe you're telepathic, or you can astral project. Do you remember?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a
Oh,
new video.
already, my lord.
Whoa.
Yeah, whole bunch of
Whoa.
woo. All of the woo peddling.
Yes, it's all woo peddling.
Yeah.
Maybe you can
Jenny!
fly. Maybe you can fly. Maybe you're from another planet. Maybe you can turn poop into gold. If you have some stories like those, come talk to me.
I know,
people
Mr.
got that
Hickey the
wrong.
Christmas poo.
Maybe you could
Yeah.
be able to polish a
Don't forget your
bird.
tail.
Oh my goodness.
Midas didn't turn things to gold by touching them with his hand. He turned them to gold by pooping them out his ass.
Yeah, that
That
sounds
makes
about right.
sense.
You're
Oh
talking
my.
about Milorganite.
Hello, Jen.
Milorganite
Hi,
is
Jen.
where the city of Milwaukee takes all of Milwaukeeans' shit and turns it into fertilizer.
Oh my goodness.
It's
Well,
true.
Is that where Coors Light comes from?
No,
Yes,
Coors
it
Light
does.
is Colorado.
Oh, damn it. I know. You got me.
Now, which one's from Milwaukee? Bush beer?
Is it Pabst Blue Ribbon or
I thought it was
Old
Busch.
Milwaukee? I guess.
Old Milwaukee, yeah.
Well, what wasn't Milwaukee once the in quote marks beer capital of the U.S. Or am
Yes,
I
it
completely
was.
wrong there?
No,
Milwaukee
Anheuser
used to
Busch has
have-
always been out of St. Louis. So.
Yeah, St. Louis.
Are you talking production or consumption?
Production.
Milwaukee used to have Pabst, Blatz, Schlitz,
Schlitz. Oh
Miller.
yeah, that was the one I was.
Miller, Old Style. Although that was
Schlitz
mostly
was always
lacrosse.
moist.
Oh, and
And,
before I forget again, because I just remembered because I happened to look at it, I do want to just say thank you to Ilya Moon for becoming a member on our YouTube channel. So thank you, Ilya.
Member.
She did so before
She
this
said
the
member.
stream started.
I would like to point out again that my loyalty badges are better than yours.
You know what? I haven't had time to work on mine. Thanks.
And don't forget, if you can help Jenny Morgan out, her fundraiser is in the chat.
Yes, it'll continue to be displayed throughout the night.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, you guys. I appreciate that very, very much.
Of course.
And if we're talking about fertilizer that comes from places, what's the fertilizer that comes out of the Queens? Trump's.
Oh,
Royal jelly.
I was going to say, what are you talking about? The queen doesn't poop.
oh my God.
No, the queen does poop, but she doesn't fart.
Ah, okay, my mistake.
Everybody poops,
Big pardon.
They have
No
the royal
girls
flush.
fart.
Except for
RJ has
Chili.
a hand up.
Yes, RJ, we'll go over to you.
Yeah, all that talk of Milwaukee reminded me of one of the worst pun jokes I've ever heard about Milt Walker, who had a notoriously famous funeral, not because of the elaborate nature of his casket, but of the unbelievably elaborate support base for the casket, which of course was the beer that made Milt Walker famous.
Aha.
Oh, you can groan now.
Anyway, shall we continue on with our stupid?
Yeah, I suppose we're going to have to stop delaying.
Yeah.
Well, either
well,
that or we could put the
one quick thing
coffee
first.
bean.
Yes,
That's
hello.
all.
I'm not sure if
I'm
it's-
guessing every time you pause this, she's going to look even more stupid than the last one.
I think the
That's
fact
not
that her
empirically.
face is on the screen, she looks.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, she's
and I
kind of
think
cute.
I think
She's
Hillel had
cute,
something he
but-
wanted to say.
Maybe. But just to say, I'm not sure if it's a thing that's still happening, but I remember at least, back in ye olden days when, of the innocent time of 2012, there at least I'm pretty sure there was the James Randi prize, where any person demonstrating any kind of supernatural or psychic or any of that sort of thing ability, in under controlled conditions, would be afforded for the price of their troubles, would be given upwards of $1 million, and obviously all the fame and fame and recognition that comes with being a psychic on television and that sort of thing, and getting $1 million for it, and it being in a study, that sort of stuff. So it was like
I believe he put that up in the mid-60s.
So basically, to all those people in her comment section who think they're psychics, I'm not sure if that prize is still a thing.
It isn't.
If it is, or
isn't.
if there's things like it, go ahead and submit yourself to this sort of testing, because you have nothing really to lose except, well,
your reputation.
If it doesn't work.
Yeah,
if
but
you think it works,
he
you have
took
nothing to lose. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, he took that down a couple of years ago. I can't remember exactly
I
when.
thought it was still up.
No, he retired a couple of years ago because it was part of the JREF, the James Randi Educational Foundation. I'm pretty sure there is still a convention CSI out of California that has $100,000, not quite $1 million.
Oh well.
But there are still, and I know Australia still has a $00,000 prize as well.
Still no claims though.
Point taken. The prize is out there. Claims. People in her comment section who can, they see dead people, whatever the hell. Just go and accept your prize.
I see dead people all the time. They're in the cemeteries. They just don't talk to me.
Anyway, we're gonna go over to Chris Kelling with his hand up.
Well, when we started talking about psychic and stuff like that, I always think of Dionne Warwick, and if her psychic friends were really her friends, wouldn't they have told her that she was kind of going towards financial ruin?
Yeah, I mean, you would think that would be, if any of us had psychic friends or, psychic abilities, I think...
you guys know I love to do research, but the James Randi Paranormal Challenge was officially terminated in 2015.
Okay.
And
it started in the mid-60s, right?
He started it in 1996.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
it's actually quite a bit of fun going on to their YouTube channel and watching the video where the one and only winner of that prize. You can see that they made a video about it. Now, unfortunately, the date of that convention was on April 1st. Nobody knew about it except a few people.
Right.
But a guy actually, made all the requirements for winning. It was a fun one.
Well, interesting. And we will go over to RJ with the hand up.
I just got to point out the natives are restless in the live chat. Everybody is going clam-tastic, clam-sanity over there, so we better get the video going.
I do see that.
Hold your head up.
Yes, I suppose we should get on with our stupid. But you guys did a pretty good job of delaying.
That's good.
That's going so fast I can't even read
it. We haven't lost our touch.
Nope.
I'm sorry. Irie has SpongeBob square clams.
That's awesome. All right, guys.
I still like St. Clamo's Fire.
Here we go, guys.
For a past life, anything like that you are or have experienced or are experiencing that is truly unbelievable, I have created a separate email from the one that I already have for you guys, which is where you guys send all of your comments and questions and stories and all of that. And I will have it linked at the very top of my description. So if you fit into any of those categories that I just told you guys, make sure you go ahead and send me an email letting me know. When you send the email, just put the subject as...
Frank!
Yeah,
Sean. So she has her inbox, she has junk mail, she has spam mail, and now she has the bullshit folder.
Yeah.
I just want to spit my beer out, Chuck. Come on.
Bullshit folder, that should be the parent folder.
Oh!
Root folder.
Oh my goodness.
God, it's taking such a long time to just get to the Bermuda Triangle.
Well, actually, it kind of sounded like the giving out the phone numbers for AM Coast to Coast. If you're a new caller, call this one.
I'm actually thinking many a sailor has been lost in the Bermuda Triangle. So.
Yeah, as long as she's not giving out a 1866 number, is it? Or a 1886?
Hey, Jen, I'd get lost there.
Oh my goodness.
And for all of us non-Americans that don't know what that area code is used for.
Yes, it's a late night telephone number you can call if you're bored. If you're bored and lonely.
You'd like to punch your cobra.
Yes,
it's not a phone 6. Okay, it is a phone 6 number.
Yes,
code.
yes.
Okay, nice. Right here.
8275309.
Is punching the cobra the same as milking the python?
I feel sorry for anybody who has that number in any area code.
We have here in the U.S. we have 1888, which is a toll-free number. So like a lot of businesses and stuff, spam especially use that. But then I think it's 1886, I believe. Any of my American peeps can correct me on that. But that's the after dark special kind of phone number.
Shouldn't that be 1869?
Yeah,
if they were
it used to be
clever.
1-900.
Guys, it almost sounds like someone on this panel is an expert.
That's
that's
before my time.
Nice, do your voice, Jess.
That's before my time. They didn't, by the time that I was old enough, everything was internet. None of this phone call crap.
I bet you don't even know what freaking is or was.
Yeah, that was back in the days of Miss Cleo.
Oh, jeez.
When she was a legitimate professor, you mean?
Things are way different now. It's like reading porn in books versus the internet.
Oh, okay, JC, you have homework now.
Oh, jeez.
Elmer Fudd reads porn.
Oh,
And then they put it in
I
the butt.
don't think so.
And figure out who.
I can save you trouble. I actually have the MP3 of that from many, many years ago.
Why am I not surprised?
Is that just as funny as a certain Mr. Donald Duck getting a blowjob?
That was a good one too, but I think the Elmer Fudd reads porn is better.
Okay, I haven't heard either one of those. Oh my.
Well,
also, I'm going to have to put that in Twitter right now.
I'm not on
Later,
Twitter.
Mom,
so.
Ducks have spiral penises.
Don't worry, Mom NATO. Tornado is.
Yes, Sean made sure to describe to me in detail the duck reproductive system.
She made me go.
Oh my god. Anyway, we do have RJ with the hand up.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like a spoil sport here, but wouldn't all of her precognition psychic friends have sent their emails to her last week?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you would think.
No, they wouldn't have, because she would have been able to answer before they wrote it.
Yeah. There we go.
Maybe they just don't like her.
That's also a possibility.
Yeah, more likely.
Does that mean we're her friends because we don't like her either?
Yeah.
I like that in the
watching
live
her
chat.
Videos, so
in the live chat, Crypto457 says, "This Karen, I'm totally an expert on the paranormal. I spoke to its supervisor." Yeah, I'm getting that feeling.
Guys, don't forget to smash that subscribe button.
Yeah, subscribe and like, and stuff.
And every one of you
while
on the
you're at it,
panel
if
would
you've got a
date
few
this girl.
dollars, how about our Jenny Morgan?
Absolutely.
It's not my fault.
Eventually, we'll get to the part where she actually talks about the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, I want to see the science.
You'll be waiting a
What
while,
science?
RJ. All right, here we go, guys. Whoops, or not.
It's kind of a little
There we
bit
go.
of what it is and where you live. So it could be I talk to ghosts, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, kind of like that. And send it on over to me because I can't wait to read all of your unbelievable experiences and to hear from all of you guys who are just completely unbelievable and share your
Save it
stories.
for the end of the
But
video.
without
We'll
further
never-
ado, let's just...
Yes, Jen?
So she's actively looking for confirmation bias.
Yes.
I guess.
And
Yeah.
she's not going to get emails from all those people who wrote in and is like, oh man, tried to talk to a ghost, didn't hear shit.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
she's all she's going to get is the confirmation bias.
Wait, is this Madison Star Moon?
No.
No.
No, she hasn't been on my wheel in a while, but we'll have to get back to her shortly.
Yeah, I would be really tempted with her to make up a story about something and send it to her and just see if she's dumb enough to read it out on her channel.
Which one?
Something involving penguins.
Yeah, psychic penguins. Yeah,
Ooh,
that would
I
be
like
awesome.
I'd like to see her response just to see if she'd actually make some factual comments about tornadoes.
And Chris Kelling, you had your hand up?
Yeah, forget it. I don't remember.
How about like penguins strangling a cobra?
Hey, be nice to my penguins. Everybody knows how much I love
Penguins with
penguins.
lightsabers.
No, they're punching the cobra. Get it right.
Oh, okay.
I did forget the drink counter again, Al, so thank you for reminding me. I do appreciate that.
Calibrate.
All right. Well, we're going to continue
I was wondering
on.
if I could convince her that my vagina's haunted and it keeps talking to me.
I mean, that's definitely possible. All right.
Although I do remember
anyway.
what I was asked.
Yes, Chris?
Anyway.
Mine was haunted, but I rinsed it out with disinfectant and UV light.
Topical.
Okay. I just wanted to know how much more of an advertisement are we going to get on this before she gets the actual content of
Or the
her.
actual stupid.
Oh, could be down
has
like
no
the
actual
last 5
content.
minutes.
Yeah, you never know.
Well, what I'm proposing is that we fast forward through her commercial.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long she goes on, and I don't want to miss any of the good stuff.
Yeah,
if we don't call
there's
drink,
some
then she'll get
science in
faster.
All right, well, let's
put
see
it
where
like this.
let's see if we can get let's see if we can get there at least.
Prepare to fast forward.
Dive
No
right
more.
on into the Bermuda Triangle because there's a lot that I need to cover and I feel like this video is going to be a long one. So the area referred to as Bermuda Triangle or the Devil's Triangle covers between 500,000 to 1 million square miles of ocean. It's known as a patch of ocean that has supposedly been the cause for the disappearance of many boats and aircraft. The Bermuda Triangle has remained a massive mystery to both regular people, but even scientists for years and years.
Yes, Dre.
Yes, Jen?
That's bullshit. Go ahead.
Nice. I appreciate your brevity. That was well done.
Just don't forget the drink counter.
Yes. I hit my F12. From there, we'll go over to RJ with his hand up.
Yes, effing citations needed!
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get
Especially
any
name
of
those scientists, I dare ya.
And Furball, you had your hand up?
A key term in there for this conversation was where, supposedly this is where ships have gone missing.
She didn't use that term.
No, she did.
Yeah.
Supposedly this is where ships have gone missing.
The only place in the
Supposedly.
world where ships have ever gone missing is, of course,
Yeah,
the
really.
Bermuda Triangle.
Of course.
You know where else
They-
ships
they-
have gone missing, supposedly? The ocean
Everywhere
as a
else.
whole.
Everywhere else.
Yeah.
In fact, I bet almost every ship sinking has been in the ocean.
Yeah.
You're
There are
probably
more planes
right.
in the ocean than submarines in the sky.
Or that's
And
what they want
amazingly,
you to
usually
think.
when they go missing, it's because we don't actually know where the fuck they are.
Yeah,
You mean that's what missing means?
Yeah, funny that, hey?
it is.
Well,
funny
how do you
how
know
that
if they're
works.
missing? They could just be in storage.
Exactly.
They
They could
put
just
it-
not
or
want
they
to
could
be
have just
found.
like
that
run
ship in
off.
the
The Bermuda Triangle.
They're on a little island somewhere enjoying themselves, and they don't have to
Exactly.
pay insurance and things.
Yeah, they put those ships on the same storage place where they put the temple of the what's it called the Ark from the Raiders of the Lost
Yeah,
Ark.
the Ark of the,
I-
Ark of the
I thought-
Cucumbers.
Yes.
I thought a Bermuda Triangle is what you had after you had a Brazilian wax.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Jeez. And Hillel, you
I
had your
thought
hand
that
up?
was a runway.
Just again to point out, like even ignoring the supposedly in these supposedly missing ships and planes and etc. Again, even if they've gone missing and we don't know how that happened, it's just something unexplained, and something unexplained does not mean supernatural or paranormal or conspiratorial or any other adjective you want to think of. Like it's just you need to actually find evidence of a particular thing happening, and that's how you then know the thing happened. Fucking wild, I know. But again, this is all just going to be a giant. I'm going to feel like this is all just going to be a giant argument from ignorance of like, oh well, these things are missing, and some people believe for some fucking reason that maybe they were all abducted by aliens or ghosts took over. I know I've seen what's it called, like Scooby Doo and the Bermuda Triangle. I know all that shit.
That was a documentary, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And RJ, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I want to lay down a gauntlet here that there should be a mega drink taken if she mentions Flight 19. The infamous airplanes that disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle, for which they have a perfectly rational explanation.
Aren't those the ones they actually found now?
No, they actually have never found the planes. They found some of that type of aircraft, but they've identified them by the numbers that they weren't the ones that went down in the Flight 19 thing. And given how big the ocean is and how difficult it is to get down there, it's not at all surprising that they haven't done that. But I don't think there's any serious suspicion about what went wrong. The guy that led them got lost and flew them out to sea, and they ran out of fuel and crashed.
Is this one of those needle in a haystack of needle situations?
Kind of like that. You'd have to even figure out where you were finding the bloody things, because they got lost and flew out to sea, and their little radio got dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. And then it was highlighted as well because I think the aircraft that went after them, which was like a flying gas tank, blew up during the search. So, I mean, it's just a bunch of F-ups that occurred with that. 1945.
So you're saying we don't know where they went?
Right.
Yeah, they went to
Venus. So you're saying that it's unexplained?
Yeah. Actually, they ended up in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, because I remember seeing the airplanes out there in the desert. Yeah.
Well,
I'll bet more ships have sunk in Lake Michigan than in the Bermuda Triangle.
The Edmund Fitzgerald. Or is that Superior?
We do also...
That's Lake Superior.
At the end of her video, I will go ahead and go with the most popular hypothesis in science on what's going on with the Bermuda Triangle, but I'll wait until the end.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Other than the partly made up
we are
part,
going to go over to Chris Kelling, and then we're going to continue on with our video.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I was just kind of remembering a show from the 1970s called The Fantastic Journey. That was a television show, and I always liked that show because it was using the Bermuda Triangle as a plot device. And you had a guy from the future, and you had a really cute chick in there. I can't remember her name, but
nobody remembers any of the cute chicks' names.
The cute chicks. Just a cute chick number one,
anyway,
cute chick number
Chris,
two.
was that sorry.
Go ahead.
Was that the one with Riker?
Oh no, this would have been way before that. This would be ancient days before high definition.
Okay.
Let's see, Gerard Martin, Carl Franklin, Ike Iceman, Katie Saylor, she was the cute one, and Roddy McDowell was in it.
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay.
With or without the monkey suit.
As we go down memory lane.
Yeah. Anyway, I just want to interject that in there.
Okay. More science.
That has about as much science in it as she's.
I don't remember anything from the 70s.
Yeah, I think it was on like only a season. It wasn't on very long.
Yeah, it was, and I think it was
even been canceled mid-route.
Or most
the only thing I remember from the 70s was the only thing I remember
back in the old days when you could make a TV series for like $8.
Yeah, I don't remember anything from the 70s or most of the 80s.
It's clams all the way down.
It is.
Yep.
I think you're right. All right, here we go, guys.
10 years. The Bermuda Triangle refers to an area of the North Atlantic Ocean between Bermuda to the north, Puerto Rico to the south, and Florida to the west. It's claimed that an average of 4 planes and 20 boats disappear within the Bermuda Triangle a year, leaving no trace behind, no debris, no explanation, and sometimes...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jen got the first word in on that one. Jen.
Oh,
pick up,
sorry.
Jen.
No, I said what I wanted to say. Citation needed.
Gotcha.
That's all that needs to be said about that.
Gotcha. We'll go over to Furball with the hand up.
I'm just going to add on to her vague terminology from earlier. It's claimed.
Yeah.
And okay,
Not clammed,
it's
claimed.
clammed. It's clammed that what was it? 4 boats and 2 planes go down there annually.
No,
4 boats,
planes
4
and
planes
20.
and 20 boats. Yeah,
On an average.
every year.
I believe she did say on average.
I would like to know the average of the same footprint on the planet of anywhere else to know how many planes and boats go down there. I understand that not many boats go down in North Dakota, but in the ocean, planes and boats. Because you know what? There's a lot of freaking planes and there's a lot of freaking boats.
Yeah.
So
Well,
as
actually,
Jen had
didn't
said,
you know we had the
transportation
secret
needed.
shipyards up there?
Technically speaking,
In 2017, there was 2 aircraft that went missing, and there wasn't another one missing until 2019. 2015 had 2 boats disappear, and nothing in any year after that in the Bermuda Triangle.
So it's claimed.
Yeah, clammed.
Well, these are statements of fact, so yes, she is making stuff up.
Shocker, I know.
Even if she provided any, like, she's not even going to try to cite any of this.
Sean just made me moist.
Furball,
Is
my
moist.
goal in life is to make everybody moist.
Yeah.
Gross.
But I would say, Furball, technically speaking, every boat that is in North Dakota is it's beached, technically.
This is true.
Bro.
Well, we got those secret shipyards up in northern North Dakota, so.
And Furball, you still had your hand up. Did you have anything else to add?
No, I don't. My hand's not up anymore.
Oh, anymore.
You're welcome.
Mom NATO.
Okay, she's claiming these boats go missing 20 a year. You would think if there were that many boats and 4 planes every year going missing, that there would be some sort of hue and cry and news comment about all these people and boats and shit going missing and missing persons reports and Amber
Radar
Alerts,
tracking reports.
radar tracking, yeah, and nothing has ever been said. So, making stuff up, she's a bullshit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jen, I didn't make you too moist because you got some serious heavy breathing going on.
A bit close to my mic.
And RJ.
Yeah, besides the obvious fact that where the hell is she getting her stats from? Possibly making up, but more likely she's just copying stuff that she's seen off of who knows what books and that. But it should be pointed out, one, that the Bermuda area, there's a huge amount of ship travel in that area, shipping to and from the Western Hemisphere, and therefore there's a lot of opportunities for that. Two, the place is known for, what are those called? Hurricanes, which do disasters. So, for example, there are cases of where there have been the mysterious ship disappearance that was actually somebody's yacht that turned out to disappear during the worst hurricane of the last 20 years, things like that. And then, of course, aircraft. It's more likely that these things are not giant commercial aircraft, but they're local people flying their Cessna out there and getting lost and crashing, or during storms and hurricanes. But for that, we'd have to see the documentation, which, of course, we're not going to get with Mrs. Christmas Lights.
Of course not. And Jen, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I mean, to add to that, there's also the whole thing that in around that area, especially around Bermuda and that, you've got a lot of shallow islands and shales and stuff like that, where it, especially in the past when we didn't have good satellite navigations, the ships would run aground all the time. So it's a notorious area for sailing.
Mm-hmm.
So
you mean there were ship disappearances in the past due to natural things?
Yeah, funny that, eh?
There were things.
Oh,
in the
come
past.
on. That's a lie.
And what about pirates?
We'll get to that at the end of this because it's a lot simpler than that.
Sean, you tease.
Yes, I tease.
Ooh, little tease.
Oh my, keep going.
You're gonna get us all very wet there, Sean.
Yeah. Well, we have to get to. Oh no, not it's wet. You have to just stick at moist.
Let's just say that water is involved.
Ooh.
Can you say gusset as well, Sean?
I may or may not say gusset, but we'll see.
I can say
Oyster than an
gusset.
oyster.
Well, you just said it.
Yeah,
so.
but
I can.
But RJ,
I can
you
say
can't-
Filtrum too.
I can say
Ooh.
Filtrum as well, but I say it in a much
Yeah.
deeper and more resonating voice.
Philanthropy.
Yes,
You got me beat,
Oh
man.
my god. Anyway, we're
And
gonna
welcome to
continue
this
on.
session of
guess we're gonna have to
ASMR
get
movie
back to the
night.
video.
Yes, we are going to move on.
Photosynthesis.
Oh my god. Here we go.
It's not even a warning call or a SOS for help. Like, we're talking extensive searches have been held out and nothing has ever
Drink.
left a trace.
Drink,
Yes,
and not
Sean.
once has one of these searching ships or planes ever come up missing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
So increased traffic from the searching craft, but none of them go missing at all. No.
And she's saying no emergency calls, but that's a fucking lie anyway.
Yeah.
If only she could mention at least one of those boats or ships, that would be
hopefully she
awesome.
gets to that.
Because, you know,
In Mandal-
there's something called MSSI. You could easily look it up and see if it has disappeared. It's so easy.
Mandelbrot said has a good point. You get idiots from Florida with no navigation skills lost at sea all the time.
Yeah, that I can imagine.
Mark Beezer actually hit the nail. Bermuda Triangle is not even in the top 10 list of regions with the most shipwrecks ever since 2007. There's a reason for that I will get into later.
And Chris Kelling had your hand up.
As a member of an organization that actually does perform search and rescue, in fact, performs 95% of the inland search and rescue of the United States Air Force. It's also known as Civil Air Patrol.
Mm-hmm.
We fly planes from Florida to Puerto Rico all the time. And the only time that we've had problems with the plane is when the rust maintenance hasn't been kept up on the cables controlling the or the control surfaces of the wing and the tail and the stuff like that, and we've had to land early. But you'd think with the amount of flights that we've had that we would have had something happen to keep up with the averages that she was saying. So
It's almost like her
I
averages
find it
are
very
bullshit.
suspect.
The media also has fuck, I forgot. Never mind.
No worries, it happens around here. All right. Well, shall we continue?
I didn't mean to stop things cold like that, but go ahead.
No, it's all good. We're gonna continue on.
Face behind. So the Bermuda Triangle dates way back. In 1492, Christopher Columbus entered the Bermuda Triangle and reported seeing strange lights and talked about how
think
his
Dr. Peabody
compass
said
was
that too.
completely
Wait, what?
malfunctioning.
Yes, Mom Nita.
How the fuck does she know what Christopher Columbus reported?
I can tell you right now because she's reading Wikipedia.
Which is a site
Cardinal
where
sin, I think.
everybody can comment and put in comments, and none of those are citationed accurately or whatever you would call it. None of it's true because it's just people making shit up.
I think
even
Dr.
even if
Peabody
he did
was
see
cited
stuff,
as a
sorry.
source.
Sorry, Chris.
Oh no, sorry, I was just being smart. I was I was just saying that I think Dr. Peabody was cited as a source when he used his Wayback Machine.
Oh, was Sherman with him?
Yes, he's always
okay.
welcome.
Okay, she's getting her quote from a book called The Island's Sun that was written in March or April of 1990. It's a 6+ page book. So
Wow.
book.
6. That's a pamphlet.
Pamphlet.
It was
Yeah,
written by
pamphlet.
J. Marvel.
JM.
Marble?
Marvel. Marvel.
I was thinking D. Marble. I just couldn't.
Marvel,
What?
Prolific.
Yeah.
So from this, I can't tell if it's actual quotes from Columbus or not because I don't remember him going that far south.
He wouldn't have.
Even if he did see something, sailors on long voyages will hallucinate things all the time.
Exactly.
I mean, their diets were so
Mermaids.
screwed up, especially back then, that they they had hallucinations and
Hell, it
stuff like
could
that.
have even
So
just been like the Northern Lights or something like that. God
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah, the original archive is no longer in existence on the internet.
Yeah.
I've only found it by going to the Wayback Machine. So this 6-page book no longer exists that was written in 1990.
Right, and I mean things like the hallucinations. They talk about how Sailor saw mermaids, and it ends up being the
Manatee?
manatees. Yeah,
Doing a
I don't
DVD
see
series-
how the fuck they can compare a manatee to a mermaid. That's
And you got to
Okay,
remember they
so
were
dark
very
enough.
confused.
You squint at it in just the right light.
We do also
And
have.
they were very confused by things like bioluminescence. So if you had a lot of bacteria on the top of the water bioluminescing, they were, spirits. What the fuck were they? They didn't know. This was a lack of knowledge at the time.
Stupid.
Superstitious lot.
Well, no, they weren't stupid. Stupid is the wrong term for it. They
Yes.
just didn't know. There's
were
a difference
ignorant.
between
Yeah,
being
exactly.
stupid.
They've
and
never
not.
seen it before.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
Furball with the hand up.
So my question was, if this is going to be something that they're reporting on, every captain of a boat has a journal, and something of that significance would be documented. So I literally just searched Christopher Columbus lights, and there is actually a Wikipedia page. I'm gonna blaspheme like she did, but the 1492 light sighting was a sighting of an unknown light during the voyage of Christopher Columbus on October 11th. So it is cited. 1492 by some crew members of the Santa Maria Pinta and possibly the Nina shortly before landing at
Guanahina.
Thank you.
Sounds like bioluminescence to me.
The light was
So where's
reported.
Guanahina?
It's one of the islands in the Bermuda Triangle.
Okay, so it was Bermuda Triangle.
Columbus described the lights in quotes: a small wax candle that rose and lifted up, which to a few seemed to be an indication of land.
Now, remember that
Bermuda
Furball, when I go
Triangle's
to,
real.
remember that when I go on to the most accepted hypothesis of what's causing the Bermuda Triangle incidents later on. Remember that.
A small
board?
wax
We're gonna have to
candle
keep our memory
that
all the way
rose
down to
and
when we're
lifted up.
drunk.
Yeah,
I already
just
forgot
remember
5
just
minutes
remember
ago.
that description. It'll come in handy.
Okay, put it on the post-it.
2 words. Fata Morgana.
Nope. 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 Nope.
All right,
The
we're
sun.
going to continue on. We're going to move on.
Moving on down the road.
Yes, here we go.
Functioning and giving totally wrong readings, which as you guys continue throughout this video, you'll hear that's really common with the Bermuda Triangle. Oftentimes compasses completely malfunction while in this specific area. As he sailed
Drink?
through the area on his first voyage to the New World, he
Drink.
even
Drink.
Yes, Chris Kelly?
I thought the primary method of navigation with Columbus was his sextant,
Mm-hmm.
which would require
Her name was Rachel.
External source. It wouldn't be anything like a compass. And if he had a compass, which he may have, probably did. How accurate was it at that point, that close to the equator?
It would have all been sextant.
His first method on his first trip, he used an astrolabe.
Okay.
What's that?
Still more accurate than just a compass. So. And
He did-
requiring
he
an
did use-
external source.
He did use Dead Reckoning and Celestial Navigation. He did not use compasses.
Okay. So
Combine.
everything that she's saying right now is
Making
total
shit
BS.
up.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Well,
Kate, I think all of the things they're talking like electro compasses and stuff, and that's way more current than Columbus, but she's just not bothering with her details.
Yeah, I mean, my main thing is like we should probably just accept at this point she's not going to make any kind of citations for any of this stuff, which is unfortunate because personally I'd like to see which sources she's misrepresenting.
Right.
So would I. That would be fun.
Or which sources she's actually representing, which would be even scarier.
I got to stand corrected here. Course was measured by a magnetic compass. Distance was determined by time and speed calculation. Was that for Columbus's trips? Oh, in Columbus's time, that's talking about modern times. In Columbus's time, ship speed was measured by throwing a piece of flotsam over the side of the ship. Pilot had a chant to time the movement of the flotsam past 2 marks of the ship's side. That's where knots come from, by the way.
What do we do with a drunken sailor? What
Yeah, do with a drunken sailor. I can think of several things, but anyway.
Stick him in the room with the captains.
He was using Dead Reckoning. He did use a magnetic westward course for weeks at a time. Only 3 times does Columbus depart from this course. Once because of contrary winds, twice to chase false signs of land southwest. So he was using a compass to find west, but that's not how he navigated overall.
And if they hadn't installed America right there where he needed it, he'd have been screwed.
Well, he was looking for India, so I mean, you know what? How good could he have been?
But he
Well,
did
he was
find a
following
bunch
that
of
damn
Indians.
Tuscanelli map.
If he got redirected to the southwest, that would explain why he ended up in Bermuda and the Caribbean and stuff instead
He's
of
in the
actual
general area.
North America.
I'm not actually sure that Columbus actually went through the technical Bermuda Triangle.
On October 30th, 1942 or 1492, he was about 20 degrees north latitude, but the result he obtained from the quadrant was 42 degrees. He made another reading from the same place on November 2nd and got the same flawed result. What is Bermuda Triangle's latitude?
20-something, I think. It's in that area. I thought.
It's 25 north.
Damn, I'm good.
So he was actually south of the Bermuda Triangle when he got false readings.
Okay, so we got a bigger Bermuda Triangle. It's kind of elastic. Let's not be picky.
She did increase the square area by 2 when she first described it. So.
And Edison Carter in the chat makes a good point. Magnetic field is not uniform across the planet, which is called declination, which they had no declination maps back then.
Come on, Anthony.
You know, he was in an uncharted part of the world. They had no idea that he was degrees off on declination.
And let's not forget that Columbus had a very magnetic personality, and so it could have differentiated with that.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
And also remember that the magnetic north deviates over time, too.
Yeah, a little bit. But
Yep.
in any case, we've dwelled on this one point too long.
Yes.
We have.
I suppose we have to start watching her again, right?
Yes, we are going to continue on.
Hi, there's the rub.
Seeing a great flame of fire crashing into the sea, which many believe was probably a meteor, but it kind of plays into different theories that we'll talk about in just a little bit.
Wait,
Drink.
What the fuck is she talking about?
I can guess.
What you talking about, Willis?
Was that the candle that she was just talking about?
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention. She just said that there was a great flame of fire crashing into the sea, and I quote, "A small wax candle that rose and lifted up, which a few seemed to indicate was land."
Yeah, no crashing part, is there?
Yeah, no,
The exact opposite, actually.
Yeah.
Wrong, go the fucking wrong direction.
Well, maybe Columbus's crew was watching the movie backwards.
No, they're all standing upside down, obviously.
Remember, up is relative on Earth, you know, so maybe the meteor crash on the opposite side came out in the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
It came through the Earth. Actually, now that I think of it, what was it? A meteor shower actually would explain that rather nicely, even if it was just one meteor.
Now, did he have towels available after the meteor shower?
And would it have been made of asbestos?
No.
Where are the crickets?
Every good traveler knows where their towel is.
Where their towel is, yes,
yeah.
indeed, 42.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, that's my age. I'm the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
There, exactly. It's all making sense, man.
Well, we're gonna continue on.
Just don't panic.
Now it's not making sense, ma'am.
Come on, RJ, don't panic.
Here we go.
I got you. Hello.
Were continuously appearing in that specific area. Incidences of disappearances have been taking place since the 1600s and continue to take place even today. So today, we're going to explore the Bermuda Triangle, we're going to explore different cases, and then we're going to explore possible explanations as
fuck off.
to what on earth could be going on there. So if I tried to sit here and talk about every single instance as far as where the Bermuda Triangle is concerned, we would be here for weeks. Like, when you guys finish this video, definitely...
Pause for a second.
Yes, Sean?
I'm going to make a prediction now. She's going to come up with every possible explanation except for what science thinks is going on right now.
Oh, of course.
That's a possible.
Things go
Sean?
missing sometimes.
Sean, what does science think is going on right now?
You will have to wait until I hear if she actually says it or not.
Teaser.
Sean, haven't you watched this?
I am forcing you guys to suffer through this with me.
My
don't feign
prediction,
ignorance.
my prediction of what science thinks is going on right now is nothing.
Wrong. You would be incorrect.
Oh, by the way, will any of it involve methane hydrates?
No
Oh, we can only hope.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Meth, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just warning everybody. I'm there too. Okay.
All right. Well,
But
here
for
we
our
go.
Okay.
shut up.
Here we go, everybody.
Go on over to the internet. Well, you're on the internet. Oh my gosh. You're on the internet. Definitely click on over and check out some different stories because there are so many. I'm only going to be covering a few of the most popular and the most baffling. but
Oh,
there are
thank
just
you.
How about the
So
most
in other
accurate?
words,
So in
all
March
the ones that are made up.
1918,
She hasn't
the
gotten
USS
into her video
Cyclops,
yet.
which is one of the Navy's biggest fuel ships, set out from Brazil to Baltimore, carrying 309 passengers and needing to travel through the Bermuda Triangle to reach their destination. Now, they set out on clear skies on a great day. Any of
You,
the
Sean?
messages or correspondences from this specific ship to land were all completely normal. There was no indication that there was anything malfunctioning or anything going wrong. Then, out of nowhere, while crossing through the Bermuda Triangle, the ship was just never heard from again. No SOS calls, nothing. The USS Cyclops captain never sent out any form
Oh,
of a
dear.
distress call. They never
Great.
reached out to any of the...
Yes, RJ?
I just have to ask a question here. On the original of this video, are the comments still open on it?
I believe so.
Okay, that would be nice to have that to where someone could go and just say, sources, please.
I have a feeling you're still not going to
Well,
get them, even with that.
She did.
I doubt we will, but nonetheless, she will never say she was not asked.
This is true.
She'll
she
probably
did mention the ship's name.
For me at least.
Oh, the Cyclops is one that
Cyclops?
likely just broke up. It was that was a while. I think 1919, if memory serves me. Somewhere.
That was a hospital ship, right?
No. I think it was an ore carrier.
She called it a field ship.
The USS Cyclops was the second of four Proteus-class colliers, whatever that is,
Yeah.
built for the United States Navy several years before World War One. Let's see. Doesn't say what it was, except
I
for
know
that.
one of them was made out of cement.
I am unaware.
Not unlike the brain of the person doing the video.
Yeah. This is true.
She was thought to have been captured or sunk by a German raider or submarine because she was carrying 10,800 long tons, that's approximately 11,000 tons, of manganese ore used to produce munitions. But German authorities at the time subsequently denied any knowledge of the vessel.
Yeah, because they were pricks.
It was a war.
Right.
Yeah. The Naval History and Heritage Command has stated that she, quote, probably sank in an unexpected storm, unquote. But the ultimate cause of the ship's loss is not known.
Interesting. And Mom Nato, you had your hand up?
No, I took it down because they answered my question.
Aha.
Okay.
All right.
Did you find the answer entertaining?
Hillel, you had your hand up?
Well, just that
We can do them in musical forms later.
Just that
I
unless
am
I'm
the model
misremembering
of-
my
very model of a modern major general.
mineral and vegetable. But unless I'm misremembering my history, a somewhat similar story happens for one of the most famous ship sinkings in all time, which is the Titanic. If if that other ship, I forget the name of it, hadn't been there to
Carpathia.
Yes, that's
Oh no, the one that was stuck in the ice that didn't do anything.
Yeah, that one. If that hadn't been there to rescue people and then to ferry people away and send out its own messages, no one would have any. Unless I'm misremembering, the Titanic didn't send out any of its own SOS radio transmission. If I'm
Oh no, they actually have wireless
It
telegraphy,
was
and they were communicating back and forth all the time. In fact, some of the ice messages got shunted aside because millionaires kept on wanting to send stuff out. But no, they were hearing.
Okay,
their claim to fame is that they were the first major ship to use SOS instead of CQD, which was the old call signal.
Yep.
Okay, never mind. Then.
Yeah.
But
I'm
most
a Titanic
ships
buff,
had
so I'm going to be
turned off their
smug
radio
and a prick.
shacks at that point too. So
You're allowed to be smug, RJ.
Okay. Colton, if he were here, he would be that too, and we would geek out, and you'd all want to say, "Shut up."
Aha.
We might do that anyway.
That's
Shut up, RJ.
true, absolutely. I
you
would
still
be
had your hand
entirely
up, RJ?
understandable.
Did you have anything else to add, RJ? RJ?
Oh, no, I don't.
Your
I
hand is
almost
still
thought
up.
they took him.
Uh-oh.
Lower my little hand.
And Hillel.
RJ, shut up.
Okay. Hey, I know how to shut up. I've been shutting up all the time. This you can tell me. I'm the best at shutting up that anyone can shut up.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, shall we continue?
we love you, RJ.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go, guys.
Moving on.
Surrounding ships, nothing, and then all of a sudden, the ship just disappears without a trace.
Poof.
They searched, and they didn't find a single piece of evidence indicating where the ship may have gone, what
According
may
to
have
the
occurred,
sources you don't give.
and where the 309 passengers on it
I'm gonna
are.
like the
Like,
ending of
this is one of the Navy's
Great.
biggest...
Passengers on the side clock.
Yes.
Yeah, just what is the word here I'm looking for?
Crew.
Pedantic part of me here. 306 crew and passengers. So not just passengers, but the whole. There were 306 people on that boat.
That actually might be a way of identifying which source she's getting it from by getting the number wrong that way.
RJ, repeat after me. So? She sells.
Yes, by the
Down by the
seashore.
Yeah.
Ships sink, ships, loose lips.
Oh my goodness.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Loose lips sink ships.
Yeah.
That one.
And
or Lucille Ball sink ships, something like that.
Moist lips do what?
And Jen with one end, you have your hand up.
Many things.
Yeah, I'd just like to say if anyone can help out our Jenny Morgan with her little fundraiser to get her car up and going, I'm going to post the link now in the chat.
Absolutely.
Awesome, and I do appreciate that. Thank you very much.
That is far better than any Bermuda Triangle crap.
I agree.
This is true.
If she starts talking about aliens, I'm going to have to rethink about my movie about the abyss.
I would think lesser of her if she doesn't go to aliens. I mean, what Bermuda Triangle groupie doesn't?
Those are other videos, RJ. she has other videos for that.
Ooh, I just realized my post says hair repairs instead of car repairs.
It happens.
I'm sure you and Rock will use it against you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Of course you'll use it against me. That's what it's for.
And Tornado, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I'm going to have to bow out because, well, I don't really have much original to say on Bermuda Triangle crap because Bermuda Triangle crap really isn't my forte. My forte is more along the lines of meteorology and
Hey, Tornado. Tornado, stick around then.
Okay.
You'll like the reveal.
Yeah. Oh? Yeah. How much longer do we have on this then?
17 hours.
So much.
Comment
We're
time.
halfway through.
Really?
Yeah.
Stick
Spent
around.
the whole
You'll
quarter of the video
like
doing her introduction.
Yeah.
Tornado. Stick around. You'll like hearing the reason why science believes Bermuda Triangle was an issue.
Hey, you can always mute yourself for now, Tornado, and just listen and play a game.
You can.
Or you always have that
could
Cobra
play-
handy.
Tornado could play the part. He could play the part that Alan used to. Fall asleep in your chair and just let us hear you snore.
Yeah, there we
Hey,
go.
no. That's my job. That's my job. I have a monopoly.
Yeah,
You hear?
no. Eventually, he's just gonna listen, be in the living room playing on his piano once we can get it moved from my mom's house.
Oh, that's what you
call it.
Hang around, the Cobra is asking for you.
Yeah.
Go play the piano.
All right. Let's see.
Tickle those ivories.
Is that what you're calling it now?
Yeah.
All right. And Bo, you had your hand up?
It's an ivory cobra.
Yeah. The supposed Bermuda Triangle, the borders that make out this supposed triangle. I don't know how precise it is, but it does say, yes, on Wikipedia, I know, but still, that the USS Cyclops sank around an island that's called St. Kitts, although it was called something else back then. That's beyond the Bermuda Triangle, just outside it, actually.
That sounds like details.
Yeah. So
They're
outside of
grasping for what they can.
it was called St. Christopher's Island back then.
Well, as we've already established, the borders of the Bermuda Triangle are possibly quite variable. So,
Yeah.
who knows?
It's triangle-ish.
Yeah, try saying
it's
that to
occasionally
Riley.
a rhomboid.
Oh, jeez.
Triangles with benefits.
It's a 5-sided triangle, like everybody learned about in school.
All right. Let's see.
Add to that, technically, triangles drawn on the surface of spheres aren't triangles, so.
But hey, drawing one on a balloon or a sphere it is actually the only way you can draw a triangle by using 90-degree corners. It's awesome.
Yes, it is.
That doesn't exist.
But it's still not technically a triangle.
Flat Earth.
But-
It's still a
on a
triangle,
curved
yeah.
surface, or in a hyperbolic universe. There's various ways. So triangles do not necessarily add all up to 180 degrees. That's only in Euclidean space. And if you have Euclid here, well, tell him to get out of the bath. That's Archimedes. I'm sorry.
So Jen, how dare you insult my local coordinate system like that?
Jeez. All right. Well, shall we move on? I think Bo still had his hand
I
up, but I'm
suppose
assuming
we'll
he
have
just
to.
Forgot to put it down.
Yeah.
Furball looks too relaxed.
All right. Here we go, guys.
Can't have
Google
that.
ships.
Give up all hope.
They sent an
later
SOS.
here.
They went to travel through the Bermuda Triangle and they just disappeared without a trace. How does one of the Navy's biggest fuel ships carrying 309 passengers just disappear
6
without any debris or anything left behind? Well, that will be a reoccurring theme with the Bermuda Triangle. At 2:10 p.m. on December 5th, 1945, 5 TBM Avenger torpedo bombers took off from the Naval Air Station in Fort Lauderdale.
Bingo!
These planes were collectively
Gosh
known.
darn it! Now I gotta open another beer.
See?
Yes.
RJ, I've been saving this last bit of the wine, and this is for you, buddy.
Yeah. Predicted it. Called it.
I swear I was going to limit myself to one bottle tonight, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, what
I
all
think-
happened?
More stupidity.
Flight 19.
All right. Did you have anything to add, Hillel?
Oh, no.
Okay. And Bo?
Let's see what stupid she says.
I'm starting to actually think that she saw a certain movie from 1984 and thought it was a documentary or something.
No. There's a ton
The
of stupid
Philadelphia
Bermuda Triangle books
experiments.
for her to copy.
It's always possible.
The
Oh, boy.
Philadelphia experiment was 100% true, other than all the facts.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, some people that can confirm that there was no such thing, unbelievably, astonishingly, Isaac Asimov and Robert Heinlein, and I think there was another science fiction writer, were actually there in that area. They were, I think, some of them were in the Navy and stuff, and so they of all people on Earth who would really have been interested in hearing about anything like that, there was nothing. It's all made up.
Gee, it's almost as if it's all made up by people who are, well, you know,
making things up.
Deja vu much?
Deja vu all over again.
They mentioned this on Quantum Leap, so there's got to be some science.
Oh yeah, it's got to be true. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Deja vu, when you're experiencing something over and over again, there's a word for that, but I can't think of what it is.
I think it's something like that. Yeah, I think it's kismet.
You know what Vujade is, though, right?
Yeah.
When you
No,
have
I
the
don't.
feeling that you've absolutely, positively never experienced this before.
Yeah. I think we're doing a good job of delaying
We
here.
are. We did pretty good, but we are going to continue on.
Okay.
Here we go, guys.
As Flight 19. So on December 5th, 1945, Flight 19 headed out on a routine mission. The flight's leader was Lieutenant Charles C. Taylor. Now, Lieutenant Charles C. Taylor was a very experienced pilot, and on top of that, he was a veteran of several combat missions in World War II. So he had an outstanding amount of experience. There were 14 men who headed out, including Lieutenant Charles C. Taylor. However, the 13 other men were trainees. So they were all in training, and he was the leader of the 13 men. At around 3:30 p.m., Lieutenant Charles C. Taylor sent out a message to the control center claiming that his compass was completely malfunctioning, but that he believed he was somewhere over top of the Florida Keys. An instruction was given from the tower to turn north towards Miami, but only if he was completely certain that he was over top of Florida Keys. However, unfortunately, where he thought he was completely wrong. At 3:45 p.m., Lieutenant Charles C. Taylor's voice was heard.
Yes, Chris?
Okay. I don't know if any of you have flown over scenery that is completely repetitive at, let's say like 2,000, 3,000 feet. Now, they probably would have been at a glide slope that they could have gotten to land if they knew which direction land was. And how disorientating that is, to the point where you can't tell if you're upside down or if you're turning or what. And so when you're over the ocean like that, it's why you have to rely on your instruments. Back then, their instruments were basically a compass and maybe an altimeter, along with some engine gauges and stuff like that. So how easy it would be to be turned around and think you're heading back towards Miami, and you're actually heading towards Bermuda. It is, even in modern times, if you're not trained to be flying over the ocean and know what the hazards are, it's going to be very difficult to maintain your spatial awareness. It's one of the things we, again, in Civil Air Patrol, at least in the Connecticut wing, during the summertime, we have a Long Island shore patrol. And what we do is we fly up and down the Sound, and we look for people who are in need of help. We've had a lot of saves that way. Boats, they're all of a sudden they're stuck out in the middle of the Sound and stuff like that. One of the things we always have to do is always make sure that the shore is in sight, and that it's always on the same side of the plane in the direction that we're going. So if we're heading towards New York City, we want to make sure that shore's on our right side. And if we're heading back out towards Rhode Island, we want to make sure that the shore is on our left side. And otherwise, again, you'd get so disorientated. So what she's saying is it's not that out of the realm that an experienced pilot is still going to probably get disoriented. And probably what they were trying to do out there in the ocean in the first place was to get some training on this. Unfortunately, they didn't have the full training that they needed.
I see.
He was not an expert trainer.
Chris, so what you're saying is it was aliens.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's got to be it,
I think that's where he was going with it, at least.
Yeah, you've ruled out everything else. It's got to be aliens.
We'll see
it's gotta
whether
be
she
aliens.
brings up a critical piece of information that is not discussed in the standard Bermuda Triangle people, but is brought out in the very detailed book that was written about this that helped explain what the hell was going on.
I think I read
It's
that.
almost as if the Bermuda Triangle has a rational explanation.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, no, we can't have that. It's got to be a conspiracy.
Yeah, I can't think of his name right off the bat. I think it was Larry
Conspiracy.
something or other, but it's the book on the subject.
And I did want to just mention we did have a $2 super chat from Copernicus Thinker with a super sticker. It says, "Hey you," with that little pear dude. I like that little pear dude. So thank you for that, Copernicus. And let's see. We did have some other hands raised with, we'll go with Jen with one N.
Yeah.
Jen.
Well, to add on to what Chris was saying, I mean, modern aircrafts these days can basically take off and land themselves and fly the whole thing in between, and pilots are just there as their backup. And yet we still have a whole heap of accidents that have happened because pilots don't trust their own instrumentation, because we as humans get so focused in on the things that we're seeing that we can lose track of exactly where we are.
Right.
I mean, there was a test done by Mythbusters a few years ago about how, despite the fact that we think we can walk straight lines with our eyes closed, we cannot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the ladder
Because-
experiment.
Yeah. So we are not good at the navigating that we think we are.
And
we
the
are
Avenger
absolutely dreadful at it.
sinks like a rock in the water.
Oh yeah. So the fact that, I mean, there's been pilots who have crashed plane upside down because even though they were approaching the ground, still thought they were flying the right way up and didn't trust their instrumentation.
JFK Jr.
Yeah. So these things happen, and the less experienced the pilots are, the more likely they're going to happen.
Right.
And you're talking about a guy who's probably was reasonably experienced, but not greatly experienced, training a whole heap of newbies.
And
That's just an
not
accident
in
waiting
the
to happen.
area. He was assigned there recently. He really didn't have experience in that region. That
I mean, it
always
was
gets
an
left
accident
out.
waiting to happen, literally.
How was that?
Someone's playing with a 3D
It
printer.
sounds neat.
Sounds like someone punching the cobra.
That's my game.
Oh, you called it! You called
Yeah,
it!
that's what it is. It's his game.
Well,
She's gay.
since we
Yeah,
brought that
sure.
up again, I do just want to make a note that we did have a request after last movie night that we needed a Punching the Cobra T-shirt. So I do want to just post in the live chat there.
We need a product line.
There is a product line. It's in our live chat at the moment. So we do have a Punching the Cobra listing on Teespring with a whole bunch of different merch for Punching the Cobra. So feel free to check it out.
Yeah.
And
Oh my God.
First on your block to have
Sean just looked it up.
Oh, so you have a Punching the Cobra in the bag,
Yes.
or is that a sack?
I think it's a sack. So yes, we do have
between
now.
the person and their
And the
gynecologist.
pillow.
Yes, and we have a sticker in case you needed a sticker.
Oh, okay, I'm calling you out on this because you have a sweatshirt hoodie that has pockets for two hands. You can't punch the Cobra if they're contained.
True. We'll have to fix that. But yeah,
So you have to ask them to sew one of the pockets closed.
So if anybody would like to get some Punching the Cobra merch, or also on our Teespring page is the Sci Strike merch that's been up for a while. Please check it out, and all of that helps.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Punching the Cobra stuff was fun to make.
And now what's not
That's what
fun to make,
Tornado
we're going to have
said
to
too.
resume the video.
You guys
Yeah.
are terrible. You know that?
Yeah.
And
Well, you're the one who came up with the euphemism.
it's
It
true.
was an accident.
And now it's
Is that what you
merchandise.
tell your mum? Is it? Is that really what you tell your mum?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The time will come when you will look back upon this and you'll be able to say, I was the one that started punching the cobra. The whole empire began with us.
Exactly.
It's just like a boot camp. I mean, you
Oh
know,
my god. And quit asking me to sprinkle them chesticles says you can't punch a cobra next to a vacuum without a clam tainer. So thank you for that. Quit asking me to sprinkle them chesticles.
That is perfect.
That is perfect. I like it. We'll go over to Bo, who has his hand up.
Yeah. Now, these aircraft that these pilots were training, or this particular pilot was training in, I don't know if it was a small airplane, you know, a one-seater, or it was a bomber. But if it was a bomber, they would have of course, a dedicated navigator. The question would be, would they have started using star navigation back then, and was it overcast? If not, I'm sure that American, at least Navy pilots in fighter jets, fighter planes were at least trained to use the stars to indicate north, or find their north in case their instrumentation broke. But again, it would
they may have
depend
been
on.
inverted too. So I mean, they were single-seated fighters.
Okay.
And they may have been inverted, in which case that wouldn't work.
Yeah. Did they use fully lit or blinking beacons on their on towers at air
Well,
stations?
they were way out of sight of land.
They're
okay.
out of sight of land, so they had no reference point.
They were totally in radio contact.
Not even a radio beacon.
No, no, they didn't. They used some landmark material to just give general headings, but the kind of triangulation system, if memory serves me, wasn't in place in those days.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I suppose I should let slip. There's a piece of information that is a couple pieces of information that are relevant. One, I mentioned the fact that the plane sinks like a rock if it crashes into the water, which it does if it runs out of fuel. The second is that they have the audio recordings and the transcripts of that. And the fact is that one of the crew people was saying, "We're going the wrong way. We're not where you think you are." He was trying to challenge the guy who was leading them. And so the captain got completely confused and thought he was in one spot where these islands look very similar to other ones, and instead he was flying them. He thinks he's flying towards Florida when in fact he's flying out to sea.
Just as a correction, they weren't single-seat planes. They were actually three-seat planes.
They were torpedo bombers, weren't they?
Yes, they were torpedo bombers. There was a pilot, a turret gunner, and a radio man.
Mistaken on that.
Yeah, bigger than a Cessna, I'll tell you that. They were heavy as hell.
Yeah,
it'd
be like a Tomcat.
They were notorious for the fact that once they hit the water, they sank quickly, and you had very little chance of even getting out of the plane quickly enough because they sank that fast. They were like coffins.
Yeah, it was the heaviest single-engine aircraft in World War II.
And by that time, kind of at the obsolete end, because that's why they were being used for training.
Yep.
As long as it had a Rolls-Royce engine in it.
A Merlin?
What made the aircraft worse for water landings was the fact that it had foldable wings, so it was literally just a water sieve once it hit.
Yeah.
Well, they probably had Pratt.
Yeah, Pratt & Whitney.
I don't think any Rolls-Royce engines were used on American aircraft, were they, at that time?
Yeah, there were. I'm sure.
Yeah, they were licensed from Rolls-Royce. They weren't. They may not have been made by Rolls-Royce.
Produced, but no.
And Furball, you had your hand up?
What was the time of this accident? Because I thought earlier somebody had mentioned it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So it went on actually for hours and hours, and I believe it extended into the night because when they didn't come back, they were starting to get worried, and they sent out an aircraft to search for them, the plane that was notorious for blowing up. And in fact, there is some evidence that there was a freighter that was at sea that probably saw when that rescue ship blew up because there was a big flash on the horizon and around the spot where they would have been. So the mysterious loss of the rescue craft is kind of understandable too.
I know that I don't know the weather conditions. Somebody mentioned the time of day because thinking about it logically, if it is a non-cloudy day, you have the sun as your reference point during the day, and at night celestial navigation to know the general geographics of which direction you're going.
Well, I don't,
So
I
I
don't
don't know.
think it was
They had a
sunny weather.
storm.
It was an overcast. It was in December.
Yeah.
Okay. And a little bit of trivia. The Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs has a very modern, up-to-date planetarium that just recently reopened after like a $5 million renovation. And I never thought about it until I went and visited it. Why the hell does the Air Force Academy have a planetarium? Well, until 20
Space
years
Force.
ago... No, until 20 years ago, they were still teaching their pilots how to navigate by the stars. And that's how.
Yeah.
Nice.
It makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Before
I mean, it's a navigation device. You don't have to, service any batteries for example. I mean, it's look up and hope it's not overcast.
Yeah, up to 20 years ago, they were still teaching all their pilots how to navigate purely by the stars. And then when GPS was just deeply ingrained into the military, they figured they didn't need the stars anymore.
And I do believe that on U.S. bombers during the Second World War, at least some of them, they used sextants to navigate as well.
No, it's
in addition
seven-tenths,
to
not sex.
In addition to using, of course, charts and basic inertial navigation that they started to use back then, I think.
Have we stalled long enough? Is the video over?
Nope.
A really good stall.
Question: how much
Okay.
longer do we have on this wonderful piece of stuff?
As long as it goes.
87 minutes.
We're still halfway through.
Yeah, we don't want poor Sean not to be able to tell us about the secrets of.
I'm gonna make you guys wait.
All right. Well,
Just a quick fact
yes.
before we go.
Bo.
Yeah, the P-51D, the fighter, was powered by a Packard engine, which was a license-built version of the two-speed, two-stage Merlin engine.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah,
in
that was a
66
license.
And Packard,
exactly,
of course, was
yeah.
so they took a luxury car company and they gave the thing to another American luxury car company to make engine.
It makes sense.
Pretty much.
Word of warning: in case you hear me snoring, this is why. I'm kind of laying in my bed right now.
All right.
Oh,
How's the Cobra doing?
is it trying to poke through
If
the
he
sheets?
starts snoring, then not good.
I hope you got your tissues there.
Or a sock.
Tornado's a sock guy.
Or the facepalm mitt can work in a pinch.
This is true. Although, no.
boy.
Just no.
No, I got me a bug roll in my room.
Oh, you use a bog roll. Okay.
Anyway.
I guess you could use that.
We're moving on.
Yeah, let's find out the science.
Here we go, guys.
Again, saying that he couldn't see any land. Then the voice of a trainee came through telling them that if they turned west and continued going straight, they would eventually find their way home. However, it's said that Lieutenant
what?
Charles C. Taylor was very stubborn and decided not to, which is really unfortunate and super sad because had he have done that,
Super
they would have
sad.
found their way home. At 4:45, it became very clear that
Yes.
I think there's a drink call there. Something doesn't make sense. So a trainee says, "Fly west." And to paraphrase, fly west instead of straight.
That was the kid who said we were
Right.
going the wrong direction. We need to turn around. And
Yeah,
the
but
guy
fly
wouldn't
straight?
listen to him because he was convinced he was in the wrong spot, and so he was ordering them to fly towards Florida, which was actually taking them out to sea.
Yeah, but wouldn't flying west without deviating also be, flying straight?
Well, yeah,
Unless there was a crosswind?
but it's because she's a terrible describer, and she's just copying this from who knows which version of Flight 19, but presumably not one that's accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, more likely than not.
Probably thinking west because if you're out at sea and you head west, you're going to get back to land. But yeah, I mean, they had no idea which actual direction they were heading in. So
yeah.
Well, actually, if they had turned, and because they could tell from their compass what direction they were going, he was having them fly east. The correct thing would have been to fly west because the poor students had actually kind of figured out where they were, but they weren't listening to the commander, who was confused.
Well, which aircraft did they use in this case?
So what you're saying
They were
is
all Avengers. I think there were like 5 or 6 of them. He was out in a whole. I think he was flying an Avenger too.
What you're saying, RJ, is the commander was the alien.
Yeah. It was a sad thing because, I mean, he was not a bad person, but the thing is that they've always overestimated how knowledgeable he was of the area, that he was an experienced pilot, but not doing training and not in that area. I think he was brand new to the thing in that area. And he didn't know too much about how haze on the horizon and the way the sunset and things, you could get easily confused because all those damn little islands look alike out there, especially from the altitude they were flying.
Interesting.
Moving on.
Yes.
Moving on.
I gotta get my window here. There we go. Okay, here we go.
He was just completely lost, so he was asked to hand controls over to a trainee, although it's believed that he never did that. He was reported saying everything looks strange, even the ocean. Now at this point the communication was very poor, their fuel was running low, and the last thing that they heard from Lieutenant Charles C. Taylor was that they were waiting until one of their fuels went too low, and then they were all gonna go down together. What's crazy about this is they never found a single trace of any of them. Not the planes, not the bodies, not any debris, nothing. But where it gets even
Yes, Tornado?
I doubt that because of this fancy schmancy technology they have called sonar.
No, they've never found the planes. That's correct.
They thought they did once, but it wasn't.
Yeah, but it was not the right ones. They were able to confirm from the engine numbers and all that. It was a different bunch. But the point is that whether or not it gets covered over in sediment, and you would have to know exactly where the hell they are. And it's not easy doing underwater research in that area. And the longer you go, the longer it is for the stuff to just disintegrate.
Interesting. Alrighty. Well, we're going to continue on. Here we go.
Yeah.
more chilling, you guys, is that they had sent 2 planes out to look for them, and only one of them returned. The second one was never found either, and not a single trace was ever found of it, which is just so wild to me.
Yeah.
So heartbreaking. Now, on January 30th, 1948, a British South American Airways plane flying from England to Bermuda disappeared without a trace. The Star Tiger, commanded by Captain B.W. McMillan, had been flying from England to Bermuda. Now, on January 30th, Captain B.W. McMillan reported that he would arrive at 5 a.m. to Bermuda, which was not far away at all from the time he reported it. But neither he nor any of the 31 passengers made it to Bermuda, and not a single trace of them was ever found. There was also no SOS, there was no call for help, there was no explanation, considering
at least according to the secondary source that you read and didn't fact check.
Shortly. On December 22nd, 1967, a cabin cruiser named Witchcraft left from Miami with Daniel Burke and his friend, Father Patrick Horgan. The two were on the 23-foot luxury yacht to go out to sea to see the Miami Christmas
very
lights.
big.
It was so beautiful, and they were so excited to see them. Now, after just reaching 1 mile offshore, the Coast Guard received a call from the captain stating that his boat had hit something, but there was no substantial damage, and he required a tow back to shore. He was completely calm and completely collected. The Coast Guard headed out and reached the area in which he'd called from within 19 minutes. By the time he arrived there, which, like I just said, was 19 minutes after the call, which was completely calm,
according to the source, you didn't fact check,
substantial damage, there was not a single trace of the boat, and not a single trace that the boat had even been there. Now, what's crazy about this is this specific yacht was, in a sense, unsinkable. It had a flotation device built within the bottom of it, where even
According
if
to
it
the
was
source, she
completely
didn't
submerged in
fact
water,
check.
a part of it would still
Yeah,
be
the
floating
Titanic
above.
was unsinkable.
On top of that, there
Yes,
were
we know. Unsinkable ships
life-saving
never sink.
devices, life jackets, flares, distress signals, all of that on board. So it didn't make sense how within 19 minutes and no distress signals
Because boats can
done,
sink
no
fucking
flotation
quickly, you
devices
dumb
in sight,
bimbo.
nothing.
We'll get to
the
that.
boat just disappeared. They
No, they
searched
can't.
miles upon miles of ocean looking for any trace of this boat, and to this day, they've never found any debris. They've never found
Ooh,
any
this
trace.
like you're gonna find
They
debris
have no idea what happened
half
to
a
them within
century
19
later.
minutes of that
Oh
phone
my
call.
goodness.
And that just gave me chills. Like, that's so crazy. There are many reports of people while within the vicinity of the Bermuda Triangle, which is a massive vicinity, but while within the vicinity of it, experiencing something they call an electronic fog, where everything around them gets foggy and they either lose track
Anecdotal
of
evidence
or gain
is
a substantial amount of time while everything was foggy around them. In 1970, flight instructor Bruce Gernon claimed the plane he was flying through the Bermuda Triangle got surrounded by a foggy haze and his compasses completely stopped working. He flew with no visuals and no direction for 3 minutes. When his radio informed him he was flying over top
I
of
bet
Miami.
Sean is just
When he
getting
looked
all
down
wet
at his
over this
watch,
one.
40
Moist.
minutes had passed.
Moist.
but
I'm
he had
sure that
traveled
the
a
pilot
distance
kept track of
compared to
for how
90
long
minutes.
he
So
tried
none of
something.
it made sense.
Yeah.
He felt like he was flying for just minutes. 40 minutes had passed, but the distance he traveled was equivalent to 90 minutes of travel, which is really, really strange. So what are the possible theories as far as what the Bermuda Triangle
for
could
fuck's
be and
sake.
why these strange phenomena occur? One theory is giant waves and stormy
Anyone
conditions.
notice how, even though
Scientists
she
actually
said
believe
there's
that
like,
this specific
yeah,
area
drink
in
by
the
the way.
ocean is a
Yes.
Sorry. Anyone notice how, despite the fact that she was on about how many planes and boats go down every year, she's only given us about what, 4 examples
Yeah, culled from who knows what secondary source.
over about 80 years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm sure she
RJ.
cites her sources at the end of the video.
Of course she doesn't.
Actually, I'll let Tornado do this one. What does she need to do?
Citation fucking needed.
Thank you.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
fact, you could
I'm
probably
gonna request that we
pin
back up
down
a bit so I can
which.
actually hear her little explanations.
Yeah, she was talking about giant waves first.
Yes, and I don't know if she moved on to something else while Jen was talking before you paused it, but I would like to find out.
Yeah, you might have to take it back. Sorry.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Let's see. How far
We'll
is
see
yeah,
if she
I
gets
mean-
to the one that Sean is just waiting to tell us.
So
By the way, I heard
and
of
also,
Streamlabs.
what about the chance of just fog and random compass malfunction at the same time?
And also, does this airplane have more than one compass? And is it the same
Well,
type of compass?
It wouldn't have a more than one magnetic compass, but it would have a gyro compass in there as well. And people who have seen Wolfie's 6020s or Bob the Science Guy's explanation of gyro compasses does not get affected by stuff like this. So
Magnetics, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's more likely that the pilot himself was just confused. So he thought his instruments weren't working, but they actually were.
Or
you
was
may
an
have been
idiot
looking at the wrong instruments.
Yeah,
You
or
may not have been
calibrate.
instrument rated.
There's another possibility, but we'll
Well,
see if she mentions it.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see if
if
she
I'm
mentions
not-
it at all.
Yeah, if I'm not
It's a
mistaken,
doozy too.
to properly operate a gyro compass, you have to set and calibrate it while the plane is not moving at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe this pilot did a goof and forgot about it and did it while taxiing, for example.
It's part of the checklist, part of the
Yeah.
pre-flight checklist, or the actually the run-up checklist is to make sure that your compasses agree. So,
And I mean, she's
If
also
one
talking
fails,
about
the
a
other
flight
one
that was
will.
what, in the 70s? Is that right? It was in
Yeah.
the 70s.
Yeah,
So
70s.
yeah.
So the degree of equipment that he had to back him up, and the double checking of the procedures would have been a lot more lax back then than what they are now.
Mm, you? No,
Anyway,
not
let's get
really.
to her explanations.
Back us up on that one.
All right,
Yeah.
ready?
We're all curious.
Yeah, we're
now.
ready.
Traveled a distance compared to 90 minutes. So none of it made sense. He felt like he was flying for just minutes. 40 minutes had passed, but the distance he traveled was equivalent to 90 minutes of travel, which is really,
Spatial
really strange.
disorientation.
So what are the possible theories as far as what the Bermuda Triangle could be and why these strange phenomena occur? One theory is giant waves and stormy conditions. Scientists actually believe that this specific area in the ocean is a great hotspot for massive rogue waves. They've even used simulators to demonstrate how these waves would affect ships going through them and to demonstrate how it would sink a ship. Overall, they think it's just an area where unexpected storms could occur. So if you're flying through it or your ship's going through it, a storm could come out of nowhere, completely unforeseen, and sink your ship or crash your
Although
ship.
she's being
They also
reasonable
say that
here.
this area
Reasonable,
of the
but
ocean is
wrong.
filled with trenches where if a ship were to sink or a plane were to sink to the bottom, there's plenty of areas for them to hide within these trenches where we would never ever see them again or find
Not
a trace of
really.
them. Others believe these disappearances have to do with the lost city of Atlantis. Some believe that
Oh,
the
God.
triangle was the location of the city of Atlantis, while others argue it's the powers
Oh,
of the
God. I thought it was in Antarctica.
Oh,
It's been almost everywhere you want it.
Yeah, it's just
okay, we can just say hell no to this and just keep moving.
Yeah.
Yes,
to the
I would
no,
agree with
yeah.
that. Hell's in the no.
I would just like to make this a new category of what?
Anybody who wants to go into more detail on Atlantis than you would ever want to hear about can contact me, and I would be happy to do that. But heaven's sakes, let's just let her go on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Clementis. Nice.
city of Atlantis down below that intervene and interfere with and mess with the planes and ships above,
Yeah, she's
therefore
thinking the Bimini
sending them
Island
down
things, by the
towards
way.
it. Some even think that those who are missing actually reside in Atlantis now. Another theory is that it's a magnetic phenomenon. The Bermuda Triangle is a place where the true north and the magnetic north line up, which could be a big cause as far as why compasses stop working entirely. Now, one of my
Hang
personal
on.
favorite
What?
theories to
What?
explore is
I got a
that
question.
What?
it's due to UFOs and aliens and a potential underwater.
Ah, there it is.
All right.
No surprise.
Oh man.
Did she actually say the Bermuda Triangle is where true north and
I-
magnetic north line up?
Yes.
Did I actually hear that come out of her fucking mouth?
It's
And
a
then she
pretty
goes
mouth.
in.
It's just a dumb mouth.
It really is a dumb mouth.
She did a dumb. Yeah, she did a
A
dumb.
very big dumb.
Dum 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 dum.
Is this what you were talking about, Sean, or do we have more to go here?
Oh,
Holy crap!
This is well worth it. I tell you. This is,
Did
God,
anybody
I-
else
I
want to
just-
touch on this one?
I don't want to touch her with a 10.
what's there to
Oh,
touch on? I mean, cover the aliens. Come on.
RJ, you had your hand up?
Yeah, if you look in the literature of UFO groupies, almost all of the ones saying that there's a really mysterious explanation end up with space aliens, transdimensional portals, something to do with Atlantis, something to do with super technology, something to do with something or other. And
You
so the
forgot
fact that
space
she
Jews.
ends up at that level was completely expected. I wouldn't have been surprised. I would be more surprised if she hadn't have brought it up.
True. And Furball, you had your hand up?
Can I just request that for just like 30 seconds, can we put her at 1.5?
Yes, I suppose we can.
Because that makes it so much more entertaining.
Before we
Is
do
it
that,
is it the case,
we'll go,
Sean?
we'll go over to Chris
but
Kelly.
without pitch correction.
Since
Without
Sean
the pitch
has
correction.
already seen this,
No, I
assuming
haven't
that-
seen this yet.
Oh,
Actually.
you have not seen this? Oh, okay.
No,
So
I'm
we do
not.
not
curious.
yet know whether or not she will bring up the topic that I know that you know that I know that you know about.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
waiting to see if she
Apparently
actually gets to
doesn't.
some of the actual science involved here.
Yeah.
Okay, what I want to know is this the portal where the Hollow Earth people say that the sun goes at night.
Oddly enough,
would-
I've never heard that one brought up in any of the major Bermuda Triangle books, the stuff that was being done by Berlitz back in the 1970s and all of that. That it's not a major element of that. But they have more than enough claptrap to bring up on that. But the
I would like to
UFOs
point
in
out-
Atlantis are the
Clam
heavy
trap,
contenders amongst that bunch.
I would like to point out that the declination of zero in the Bermuda Triangle hasn't happened since the 1800s. Zero declination is now somewhere in the Gulf of Mexico, just west of the Panhandle of Florida.
Well, you party pooper.
Stop using your damn science and math.
Right?
I love that stuff.
All right. And Copernicus Thinker in the live chat says streaming her at 1.5 times speed and split screen with Sean playing RDR2 would be fabulous.
Oh, I would purposely run my horse into a train for that.
Yeah. R.I.P. Whitehorse. All right, here we go.
51. Many people believe that aliens utilize the Bermuda Triangle as a portal to travel to and from.
Can I just mention that at 1.5 times
Sounds
speed,
better at that rate.
her blinking is really weird.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
It took 1.5 times to notice that.
It's hyperblinking.
Jeez. It's almost like when I try to wink.
It's the makeup flakes falling into her eyes, I think.
Is that what it is? And you had your hand up, Bo.
Flakes
Yeah,
or
I do.
plates?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to state that this hollow Earth, using the Bermuda Triangle to explain the sun going down into, in order to illuminate the hollow Earth, while it's not when it's not illuminating the flat Earth, that would make sense. Well, not sense, but that would answer a few questions, wouldn't it?
Okay, moving on.
Not right answers.
I was trying.
I think it would pose more questions than it would
Look,
answer.
it is 2 a.m. It is 2 a.m. Let's move this forward.
Yes.
Not a practice. Give me a
Here
break.
we
Let us
go,
talk
guys.
here in the real world.
Our planet. Other people believe it's an area where they capture people, planes, and ships to conduct research. What I will say about this that's a little bit interesting to put
Anal
into
probe.
perspective is the electronic fog that people experience. When you look at alien abductions or cases of UFOs, a lot of times people will lose track of time or gain time, or hours will have passed when it felt like
You've
minutes,
lost
etc. So
track
that
of
does
time.
align up
We're
with
in an
aliens,
electronic
but I'm
fog.
neither for nor
What
against.
is
I will say that in
elec-
October of 2014, passengers
Oh.
on a Carnival cruise ship claimed to have saw UFOs in the sky. They even claim to have seen them in the daylight. Others believe it's just due to the fact that it's an incredibly high trafficked area. There are so many ships and so many planes
UFOs
flying and sailing through
exist.
this area daily. A lot of them
Until you
getting through without
identify 'em.
anything
I mean-
wrong happening or anything going wrong whatsoever. So a lot of people believe on the fact that it's a high traffic area, human error, or bad weather. They don't think it's anything more than one of those things, if not all of those things, that there's no real mystery with the Bermuda Triangle. I mean, there's no evidence to support that more people, planes, or
People
ships
like
are missing
us.
in this
That's
area
what
than
we've
other
been
areas
saying
across
for the
world.
past 2.5
Just
hours.
never
Come
found
on.
any trace of them. Now, I personally don't know what I think of the Bermuda Triangle, but what I will say is that I do find it very strange that there's never been traces or debris found or any evidence as to what could have occurred. And if it was
Quite
unforeseen
true.
stormy weather, don't you think there would be SOSs put out or calls for help or things like that? Or maybe the storms really do just come on so quick that they don't even have a chance to. But I don't know. I feel like there's something fishy going on here. What it is, I don't know for certain, but I do think it's something interesting to follow, and hopefully, before I die, we can figure out some sort of answer or cause as to what's been occurring in the Bermuda Triangle. What do you guys think is going on in the Bermuda Triangle? Do you think
Okay,
there's no more
okay,
than
pause
wizards?
it there.
Don't have a shower.
Pause it there. She's
Unleash the Sean!
I think she's about to just go into self-spieling here, so we're going to go ahead and touch on this. She is right. She doesn't know. She hasn't properly researched any of this because there has been a very, very concise hypothesis of what's going on in the Bermuda Triangle for about the last 15 years.
Ooh, the reveal.
Simply put, there's a lot of oil underneath the area of the Bermuda Triangle, which leads to methane pockets building up.
Bingo.
When methane, if you ever gone to a lake or a creek and you've seen bubbles coming up from the water, that's where an air pocket has burst under the water and it releases that to the surface. What that does is it aerates the water. When you have methane in the mix, it makes it even worse because methane's less dense than air. When you have aerated water with methane, ships are more dense than what they're sitting on. They immediately capsize. Just instantaneously. There's no chance to call for help. All you know is you're on this boat, you sink. That's it. This also affects aircraft because the air is dense. The methane is less dense than air, and all altimeters are based on air density, air pressure. When you're flying through a methane pocket, it reads that your altitude is a lot higher than it actually is because the air is less dense. What do pilots do when they're too high? They descend.
Yeah.
At nighttime, they can't see the horizon. They can't see how close to the water they are. They crash into
They
the
can't
water.
tell if they're upside down or not either. So if
Right.
they try to descend, and all of a sudden, the plane
Now, recent sonar findings have found cavities in the ocean floor in the Bermuda Triangle, suggesting that there are air pockets of some kind of gas being released in massive quantities. And because of all the oil that is under the ground there is a high suggestion that it is methane gas. This is the popular common belief in science right now. Had you bothered to even do any research on this, you would have found it. And you would have thrown out your whole aliens thing, portals. Your stupidity would have been cured. No, you are a moron. You don't know how to research a damn thing, and you live on sensationalism.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Who spent
Sean,
more
would
time,
an
her
accurate-
making that video or you doing your research?
Or her putting on makeup.
I can
Putting
put
on
some-
makeup.
I'll put my
Putting
little
on
hand
makeup,
up here.
I have a question for you, Sean.
Yes.
Would an accurate description of this woman be that she's
Making shit up. Yes. It's not stuff at this point. It is shit.
I think she may not be making stuff up, but she's reading from stuff that people
She's
have
never
made up.
fact checked.
Right.
Yeah. The most polite way of saying it is everything she says is false. She may not be lying her ass off, but it is indeed false.
Yeah. While this
That is
hasn't-
a nice old
now,
face.
now the caveat is while this hasn't been proven, everything so far suggests that it is the most likely hypothesis.
Well, now that I've gotten to see
I find that actually quite interesting. That would actually be
reveal
kind
is
of
quite
cool to
interesting.
look into. But
Yeah, I got my little hand up.
yes, sorry,
RJ.
Okay. Yeah, you can see why I was chomping at the bit too, because I knew exactly what you were going on about. That in fact there are some really interesting bits about that. There's over geologic time, earthquakes can trigger off methane hydrate blasts as well. And there is an actual example of a floating oil platform that I can't remember whether it drilled down into a gas pocket or inadvertently released one, but there was a huge burst of oil that came up. I think it may have been in the North Sea, and there's actual shots of this thing sinking like a rock. That whole gigantic oil platform just dropped because the buoyancy of the water was suddenly insufficient to keep it up. And you're quite right about the fact that if you have a burst of air, of methane rising up into the atmosphere, it could also cause engines to stall because it no longer has enough oxygen. And this would be relatively rare phenomenon. But remember, most of the ship disasters and airplane losses are perfectly natural ones in hurricanes and normal affairs. And it's a fact that if you read up on the literature of the Bermuda Triangle groupies, they suppress data that are natural explanations. She's just relying on who knows where of people that never did the fact checking. But I'd say I would agree with you that it is not an absolutely proven phenomenon because no one's ever documented it occurring while it's occurring.
Right.
But nevertheless, it's a very plausible explanation for at least some of the mysterious disappearances, not only just there, but in other regions as well, because there are methane hydrates all over the place.
Right. But yeah, it's the one hypothesis that covers most explanations in the simplest way possible.
Yeah. And they've done experiments in water tanks where they've been putting in gas hydrates. I can't remember whether it was an old BBC a report that was done on this, probably I think in the 1980s or so. You can probably find it online. And I keep track in my own research of methane hydrates. You could go Google methane hydrates and find out what the dynamics of them are. So anyway, sorry for putting science in there, but Sean made us look.
How dare you put science in there?
Well, now that I got to see the reveal, I'm going to take off.
All right. Well, have a good night, Tornado.
Now he's got to go punch the cobra.
Yeah.
Good luck to the cobra.
I thought he was already doing that.
Researching methane hydrates. I will type that into the live feed so everyone knows exactly how that's
Well,
done.
hold on. Renee in the chat says he's going to let my explanation go, but he's wrong. Like I said, it's not a proven theory yet. It's still a hypothesis, but it is the most widely accepted at the moment. Until we got something better. I mean, but feel free. I mean, go ahead and say where I'm wrong. I'd love to hear it.
Deal. I'm gonna head off. Night, everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good night. Is Mom
you're
Nana
gonna-
still there? Or?
I'm still here. I'm just
Okay, cool.
listening.
I'm
How
gonna
many
head
people
out as
think
well.
methane hydrates are cool?
No.
I'm gonna
Well,
I'm gonna head
well,
out
it's
as
better
well.
than counting
Go to bed.
cow
methane.
farts.
You can't smell methane, so it's kind of dangerous stuff, you know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna head to bed as well because Friday nights is supposed to be when I stay up late and my wife goes to bed on time, and then I get to not feel guilty about sleeping in.
Aha.
But as the photo I posted in the side chat, you can see she's still in the living room playing with Legos.
Yes.
So someone has to get up in 6 hours to feed the dogs.
Are you saying that she's cheating on you with Team Skeptic?
Ah, the secret is out.
Ah, damn you!
Dear.
Oh,
And
I'm heading out
Get
as well.
points on that,
and
Sean.
he's getting really itchy and ready to get rid of that oozy stuff he has in his Twinkie.
Oh my goodness.
yeah, I was going to say you had to use Cream Skeptic somewhere too. You
Good
know?
little pug.
Well, we have brought on the cute little pug. So with that, I do believe that we are going to wrap it up. All right. And I do want to just remind everybody too, if you do have any extra change that you want to throw toward our very own Jenny Morgan, please feel free to do
I'll put the
so.
link up again.
Yeah, she definitely could use the help, and she definitely more than deserves it.
Yeah, somebody on
absolutely.
Social Security, I know how any adjustment down with that stuff and the fact that Medicare would be deducted from her stuff, that could just be a panic.
Yes,
As
absolutely.
if it wasn't low enough already.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Dude, I mean, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely, if anybody is able to help with that, please do so. I would greatly appreciate that. And yeah, I think does anybody have anything else that they'd like to show out or add before we leave? Before we depart?
I've got a video coming up this week with Julie and Kate, as in Biotic Dance, where we're going to be talking about how feminism has changed and how some of the seedier sides of feminism can make the rest of it look bad.
Ooh.
So that should be quite interesting.
Yeah, you mean, yeah, third and fourth wave feminists make actual feminists look like crazy
well, especially
bitches,
fourth
basically.
wave.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be discussing that and what feminism. Well, I can't say should actually mean because it means different things for different people. But
there's a spectrum.
How feminism has changed and how it has kind of lost contact with some of the things that it should be focusing on more so than others. But yeah, we're going to have a good discussion about that. So that should be really interesting.
Awesome.
Aside from that, I've got another spirit science debunk video coming out probably tomorrow. So that should be a bit of fun.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
I will
And-
shove my link in the chat if anybody is interested in seeing what I'm up to.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. And RJ, you got your hand up?
Yeah, Mark Beezer reminds us that none of the results of a search for methane hydrate on Pornhub seem relevant.
And I responded to him that he spelled lesbian orgy wrong.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice, Furball.
Spelling matters and case sensitive.
All right. Well, we have Sean with the hand up.
I'm going to tip the hat to Harry Warp, who posted a link from sciencealert.com, where someone has done a study on methane bubbles in the Bermuda Triangle that goes against the popular hypothesis. But there's a few things where he says that, yes, bubbles can cause ships to sink, but he goes on to say that all ships are created to where they are not going to do this unless they're crappily made. Again, the number of ships that sink in the Bermuda Triangle are no higher than anywhere else in the world. It's just more popular because even this guy says that the Bermuda Triangle became popular because of a 1950s journalist named Edward Van Winkle Jones, who wrote about a large number of ships and planes that have disappeared in the region. We're not saying the Bermuda Triangle has more than anywhere else in the world. We're just trying to find out what's causing them there. But he says that ships that are crappily made would sink this way. He doesn't talk about planes in the study at all, which is actually kind of what the focus of the methane hypothesis is about. But even he says that if it's crappy made, yeah, it can list to one side or the other and still sink, even in the study. But I would have to say that he's slightly incorrect that every ship these days is not built to prevent tilting and listing. They try to, but it's not 100%. So it hasn't ruled it out. It's just he's taken to one extreme, saying that all ships are built one way.
Right. Interesting.
In fact, I don't think there was any consideration in most shipbuilding design to take into account sudden loss of buoyancy from methane hydrates.
You know, either one side, the other, or being entirely encapsulated by it or not.
Well, until Gordon Lightfoot makes a song of it.
That's why, this is why I stress it is a hypothesis and not a theory.
Right.
Yeah. But we can be certain that since we do not have the primary sources that the video relied on, that she's just merely repeating stuff that she's got from somewhere and never bothered to fact check.
RJ, her primary sources were left behind in the bathroom right before she flushed.
Oh, there's actually, it would be, on a serious scholarly note, there's a relatively limited number of Bermuda Triangle books and also a limited amount of material online. And so it would be really interesting to know, was she one of those readers that was reading an old copy of Charles Berlitz that she picked up at the used bookstore, or is she just trawling off of the internet? But since you don't give sources, we can't tell.
Yeah. My guess would be the second. I doubt she's ever held a book in her hand in her entire life.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is, so many of those books were written quite a long time ago. So yeah, the odds are, in the same way that most modern creationists aren't drawing off of the book creationism from the 1970s.
Settle down.
I do remember seeing In Search of, and they brought up almost exactly the same things in the same order that she did. So maybe she watched.
I think there's even a Nova report that did some stuff on the methane hydrates and the Bermuda Triangle. So people can Google search that little puppy, and that would also be interesting to find out why the hell couldn't she find out about that.
I don't know. She was cute, but I'm sorry. I need to have some intelligence to talk to.
Yeah, I don't think
But
you're
the
gonna
little
get a
cute
whole
pug.
lot. Yes,
Good luck
there is
with
a
that.
very cute pug. So anyway, yes, just like that. All right. Well, with that, guys, we are gonna head out for the night. So say goodnight, panel.
Good night, panel.
Good night, panel.
Good night.
Morning, panel.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Don't accept any wooden penguins. I still want to see the penguin show.